This week we lay some pipe that will do your head in as we discuss the 2005 horror, The Descent. Hello and welcome to the Bloody Bits Horror Show. I am your host, Eddie, the Axe Jefferson, and joining me as always, the guy who will never have a cave named after him, Tim Yobo. How are you doing today, good sir?
I'm still feeling claustrophobic from watching this fucking movie.
Well, Tim, don't worry. You don't have to feel so alone on this journey because we are being joined once again by our lovely co-host, and the first name that comes to mind when you think about an old, musky, slimy, bloody, infested hole, it's Candice. How are you doing today?
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. But we're not alone.
No, we are not alone, Candice, because you brought along a friend.
I sure did. I brought along someone that I found while reviewing indie books, and I was such a huge fan of this book.
You've mentioned it quite a few times on the show.
Yes, I know. I know. That I DM'd him like a creep. And that is Clay Romolum. Say hello, Clay.
Hello, Clay. Thank you for sliding into my DMs, Candice. I'm stoked to be on this show, and I'm super, super stoked that you liked Crevasse so much. That's really humbling. I really appreciate it.
Oh, I read a lot of books, and I think twice I've ever asked someone to be on the show because I love their book so much. The other one was Adam Caesar, and he actually came on the show, so that was awesome. And then the next one is you. So I'm going to go ahead and put it official. Everybody keep your eye on this guy. He is going places.
Okay.
That's high praise from her, because she's a nitpicker, I'll tell you.
I am.
Yes.
I'm critical as hell.
Yeah. And just a little point of advice for all you guys out there. You can very easily just slide right into Candice's DMs. She's at HorrorHoochie69 on Twitter.
Okay.
And she posts a lot of photos of herself recently, right, Candice?
Yeah, they've been huge hits. Did you know that I look like Jennifer Tilly, apparently? Never noticed that
One
before.
guy on the internet, Candice. One guy on the internet.
It's
Maybe
enough
Jennifer
for me.
Flowey. I don't know about Tilly.
Oh,
Yeah, that's all it takes.
No, like you're getting plowed. Get it?
that's gross. That's crude.
You're welcome. All right. So here we are at the, I guess this is technically the beginning of March Badness. So Candice brought a movie that she thinks is terrible.
No, it's the worst.
No, Candice, we're celebrating your birthday week, a week late, by discussing another one of your favorites, the 2005 horror movie, The Descent. But before we get to your favorite, Candice, why don't we get to everybody else's favorite segment? Candice, what have you been consuming this week?
Eddie, I gotta tell you. I felt a need. I felt a need for speed. I watched Top Gun Maverick today.
Oh, no.
And I am high on life.
Yeah. How'd that treat you?
Oh, it was amazing. God, it was such a great example of when big budget Hollywood movies get it right. Like, it had just enough characterization and story to keep you invested in the plot and the characters, so when they're in danger, you're like, oh no! And the sequences and the jet planes, the fighter jets, they're so amazingly just shot and well crafted, and
She's right.
And they're real people, and you can tell that's not CG. They really attached these fucking, cameras to these planes and were flying them through these canyons, and I was so tense. Oh, it was great. It was everything you want from a big budget Hollywood movie.
Interesting.
I'm not saying it's going to change the world, but it's a fun-ass movie.
It is a good summer blockbuster movie.
Oh,
How
yeah.
about that, right? It's not a great... We're not going to say it's a great movie. It's not going up there with The Godfather or The Shining or anything like that, right, Candice?
No, I wouldn't put it up there with that. I'm not going to take this bait. You instigating piece of shit.
What do you mean bait, Candice? We all agree The Godfather and The Shining are two of the best movies ever.
Yeah, maybe some people don't agree as much. Some people. I'm just going to say that.
I don't agree with The Shining. I'll just hook that out there.
Oh, shit.
You find yourself in good company then, Candice.
That's why we match on a reader-writer level. Because we have the same values.
So to the listeners, just keep in mind, if you slide into Candice's DMs and tell her you don't like The Shining, probably work even better.
Oh, yeah, and just shit on The Godfather, and that's it.
Yeah.
You'll get some pictures.
Yeah, but Candice, you pointed out that you had been consuming something else last night.
I don't know what you're talking about. Was it when I had been eating edibles and hitting the vape for about 5 hours and thought a good way to end the night would be to watch MILF Manor?
Oh, so good.
That's right. I relinquished my time on what I was consuming to Candice to hear her opinion on MILF Manor, the first episode.
That was the most disgusting thing I've ever witnessed. Like, I know people play it up for cameras. People act differently when cameras are around. When you know you're going to be on a reality show, you play up, your character. But the fact that these women, and they're just constantly making jokes about sleeping with their own son. And the sons are constantly making jokes like they're testing the waters to see how it's taken. Like, what if I sleep with my mom? And they're like, what do you guys think about that? That's crazy, right? You wouldn't do that. Like, just the fact that these, moms are sexualizing their sons, and their sons are like, yeah, my mom's hot, and she rides that dick all night long. It's like, oh my God.
Like I said, there should never be a time where you are talking about your mom or your mom is talking about you when the word cock blocking comes up.
No.
Jesus.
Or just sex in general, That's why I know some people are like, I don't understand why you let your kids watch violent movies, but you won't let them watch nudity. And I'm like, because I don't want to be involved in their arousal. I want no part to play in that whatsoever. It doesn't exist.
Not being involved in your children's arousal is a very good thing. Candice.
Yeah, call me crazy. That's why I don't care about
new
violence.
Generation. Yeah.
Yeah. So what about you, Tim? What have you been consuming?
Well, I'm all caught up on, I think, what was the last episode of MILF Island? Was it 5? Where they had to blindfold the moms and the sons, and the sons had to give each other's moms massage, and they had to pick who was who.
Oh, yeah.
It gets worse. It gets worse.
Oh, man, my husband walked in while I was watching it, and I was so ashamed.
And he's like, oh, shit, that's MILF Island.
Yeah.
No, he walks in and he goes, what's this? I was like, MILF Manor. And he goes, should you have the door open while you watch this? Is this like a porno or something? I was like, no.
It's like, are you okay in there, Candice? Do I need to shut the door, give you some room or something? Maybe bring you a hot towel? What's going on in there?
Some ice water.
So what you got, Tim?
Those gummies. Not really that much this week because I'm finally getting the new MacBook. So, I got to obsess over which one I get. My wife has to like the color for some reason. I don't know why, but I finally nailed it down. So this time next week, I will have a new computer.
Well, she has to look at it all the time, so at least let it be something nice to look at.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't care what color it is, so it's a win-win for me, right?
Yeah. Yeah, then she's invested, and that way you can talk her into getting more stuff. If she has,
I already got a couple things on the way from Amazon. Because apparently this, $1,000 plus computer has, 2 fucking jacks on it that, nothing else fits into.
It's Apple.
Oh, well. They got me a long time ago when I got my iPod. I put all my fucking music on it and all my pictures, so I'm stuck.
You know what, Tim? You brought something up, and I think it's a valid point. We got to do something about, spouses adding on to your Amazon order, because I'll throw a couple things in the cart and I'll be like, all right, I'm going to circle back at the end of the day to make sure I really want this thing. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
drives
then
Amazon crazy.
Yeah. So then my wife pops in. She's like, oh, you got a couple things in the cart. Maybe I'll slide a couple things in there as well. Then you go ahead, put the order in at the end of the day. And then it's like you bought it, not me.
Man, I wish
my
I could
wife
pull
doesn't
that
like
shit.
ordering shit from Amazon. She likes going to the stores and trying shit on and looking at it and holding it in her hands. And I'm like,
Smart.
come on.
Smart. Yeah, very smart. It's better to check things out and then go order it on Amazon so you save the money. Right?
It's a fucked up move.
Yeah, let's do a little.
You know, when your wife goes
shopping.
into the store and she's taking a camera out and taking a picture of the tag and then putting it back and then walking out. You know what she's doing.
Yeah. Been there, done that myself too. So Clay, you're new to the show. We'll kick back over to you now that we've given you a chance to maybe think about it, scramble through all the media, all of the things you might have been experiencing. And I know you're going to lay down just your best material, your A game here. What have you been consuming? Period. We haven't talked to you before, so please.
Yeah. Well, Eddie, my A game is the only game I have. And what I consume a lot of media for my own podcast, Fermented Fiction. That dictates a ridiculous amount of my life. So I've been watching, we are doing Pedro Pascal month next month.
Okay.
That's a good month.
So literally everything we are doing on the show next month has him in some capacity. So I'm finishing up The Last of Us, and then I've been listening to Ghost Radio, which is a book narrated by Pedro Pascal. It was the only association we could find with him and a book. And then watching Prospect, which was actually shot out here in Washington State. Technically, I am on the IMDb for that movie, but all I did was work as a stand-in during a camera rehearsal. So
fun.
I did not get to be on set or anything, but all that stuff. And then I read a lot too. I just finished The Hunger by Alma Katsu, and I'm about to get into... it's super good. Super good. Right up my alley. Historical horror fiction. Really
it's about
couldn't
the
be
Donner
much
Party.
more.
Yeah. You had me at the Donner Party in the blurb on the book, and I'm like, fuck, I'm going to read this.
Damn,
Absolutely.
Candice getting ready to leave her husband.
Well, don't do it in the middle of winter and crossing the Sierra Nevadas. It doesn't go very well for most people.
No, it's a romantic gesture. I walked on foot.
So you're from Washington. Whereabouts?
I live in the Everett area now, if you know where that is, about an hour north of Seattle.
Yeah, I grew up and lived about 4 hours south of you. So right on the Oregon-Washington border.
Yeah, like Vancouver.
Yeah. Stevenson. You ever been there?
I don't think so. I've seen it on a map. I have a buddy who lives in Camas.
Oh, Camas is great. It stinks year-round in Camas.
Yeah,
we
a lumber mill. Yeah. Ugh.
Is that why everybody
Gross.
there are white supremacists?
In Camas?
No, in Washington.
Not everybody in Washington's a white supremacist. Just most.
Well, then why are you?
I'm not in Washington.
Anymore.
You sprang it out.
Candice, where do you live?
Missouri.
Yeah, and here I am in the LA area. So let's just talk about
Oh man, it's
politics.
the ultimate Oregon Trail, going from the Midwest to Washington. That's true.
That is true. Man, so Clay, you said you are I'm assuming a host of a podcast now. I know it's the Sinister Soup podcast. Why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about that, though? Maybe they can listen to that as well.
It used to be Sinister Soup. We've actually changed it to Fermented Fiction these days.
You kept the alliteration.
Yes.
That's
Alliteration is important to us over here at Fermented Fiction. Our theme is we cover all things genre fiction, and it's sort of a debate game podcast. So we roll 2 D20s, 20-sided die, if you don't know what that is.
I know.
Oh, boy.
He is ready to leave his wife for you right now.
Well, you'd have to take that up with my wife first, Eddie. Don't jump the ship until you know.
Okay.
He'll roll
see
her for
land.
it. Who
Yeah.
gets a D20?
Yeah, we'll have you guys roll for it. But we roll 2 dice. High roll defends a book, movie, or show that is in the genre fiction category, regardless of how they feel. And then the low roll has to attack it, regardless of how they feel. And then we spend another 45 minutes talking about what we actually think after a 10-minute debate.
It's a fun format.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then we split the two segments with we bring a local beer, either from Washington or Montana or something, usually just an indie brewery beer.
Okay.
And we drink and talk about that. And next season, we have some brewery partners, which is going to be really fun. So
I got your newsletter
nice.
today, and I read
Nice.
it. I saw that. I also saw that Alma Katsu is going to be on your podcast soon.
Hell yeah. I think she's going to be our last episode of the season, our last featured author of the season.
I listened to
Very
the interview
cool.
with Travis Baldtree, and that was amazing. Did not
He's
know
so
that
cool.
he helped make Torchlight 1 and 2. Blew my mind. What an accomplished man.
Oh, yeah. He is a kind of a modern day Renaissance man for sure.
No kidding.
Narrated like over 100 audiobooks, created like 6 video games, and now he's a New York Times bestselling author. So,
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That's a journey.
impressive.
Oh,
And he's
speaking
a
of
super
like,
humble dude.
yeah, he seemed really cool and nice, and he was very informative. Like he was talking about the ins and outs of publishing business, and it was very eye-opening. The chances that are taken.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of like movie sets and books I've read and people I've had on the show, I guess filming already wrapped on Clown in the Cornfield movie. Adam Caesar's been tweeting about it. Like they finished the actual on-set filming. I was like, damn, I was really hoping to be like an extra or something.
You should have sent him that birthday picture.
Yeah, there you see.
It's me, Jennifer Tilly. Can I get a small part? I'll do it for scale. That's it.
Man, what kills me is that picture is not even like racy. I'm completely covered.
Well,
Candice, it's on the internet.
I know.
Somebody finds anything sexy and racy.
So then,
right?
then you wonder why you didn't get a walk-on role, Candice. You gotta whore it up a
Show
little bit.
show a little more skin.
Hey, get your titties out or something. Come on.
Doing
Have
this
to
all
inspire
wrong.
thirst. Yeah. Everybody's thirsty on the internet.
For real. And by the way, Adam, don't forget us when you're the big guy that everybody's making your movies now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Don't forget us. All
Don't
right.
forget your
Yeah,
roots.
you got that bloody bit bump.
Yeah.
That's what put the producers over the edge.
Exactly.
Let's greenlight this project.
Oh, speaking of people who've done movie stuff, we might have another guest coming up here pretty soon who had a not small role in the movie Terrifier 2. So,
Nice.
Ah.
yes.
I think we should try to get
that.
Sybil Danning. I think she's an easy pick.
You think so, Tim?
We'll have a tit off.
Well, you know what, Tim? If you die, maybe we can get her on.
That is my hope. That's how I know I made it. When I die, if Sybil Danning puts a tweet out 2 days later with some obscure 8-degree connection to me,
Yeah, for the listeners.
and then a picture of her with her tits out, I'll know I
For
made
the
it.
listeners, Sybil Danning is a Z-level ex-celebrity who tweets bizarre political takes, and half of her titties whenever a celebrity dies. That she's somehow like 9 degrees of Kevin Bacon tangentially has interacted with.
This person died. They filmed in Hollywood. I also was in Hollywood one
Right.
time. Here's a picture of me with my manager, my best friend in Germany, and here's a picture of me with my tits.
Yeah. Snoop Dogg died. One day I pet a dog. Here's a
Yeah,
picture of my
that's
tits.
her connections.
Yeah.
She is
I
something to
love
behold.
Snoopy.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I'll get through mine real quick. I watched the movie Call Girl of Cthulhu.
Oh, God.
Fantastic movie. Fantastic. It is an hour and 32 minutes that just flies by. Fantastic.
Lots of tentacles, I bet,
A
right?
lot of tentacles.
Undescribable sex.
Undescribable sex. Tentacles coming out of a vagina, Tim.
Okay. No, look.
Yeah.
You know, as long as that's in the ad before she shows up, right?
And you know what's cool about that Call Girl of Cthulhu movie? Is if you wanted to watch it, you could just
Where
go
would you find that?
to patreon.com/bloodybits and get access to the Blood Bank, which is our very own version of Netflix with over 5,500 obscure, rare, and bizarre cult or whatever you want to
Hey,
imagine.
Top Gun Maverick's on it. Finally.
And you know what? Here's the other thing that we got over Netflix. I just heard it this week. They removed that I Feel Lucky button.
Oh, really?
So you can't just hit that and just whatever the fucking Netflix algorithm pops up, it shows you. You can still do that on the Blood Bank, which I did
certainly-
the other night. I got stuck watching fucking Kathy's Curse.
You certainly can. And in fact, I'm going to hit the random button right now and let's see what comes up.
I know the
Just
last
for
time
a
I hit
tease
it,
for our
I was.
listeners.
Oh, sorry. The last
That's
time I
okay.
hit it, I was waiting for a bad movie because I was looking for one, and the thing that popped up was The Thing. I was like, what?
Oh.
One time I'm looking for a bad movie, The Thing comes on.
Yeah. So I hit random and I got The Forsaken from 2001. It's got starring Brendan Fair and Isabella Miko. Never fucking heard of it, but it's about vampires,
Okay.
Candice.
Ooh.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Right up your alley.
And it's 2001. It's got 7% on Rotten Tomatoes, so you
Oof.
know it's good.
Absolutely.
So you can check that out at patreon.com/bloody
That's a
bits.
tough year for movies.
As well as get access to our bonus episodes, of which we have a new High Minded coming out very soon, where Candice tells us all about her adventure trying to rob a bank and buy drugs. So
Stay tuned for that.
it's fantastic.
Finding out that her flirting with the guy drug dealer behind the counter now, where it's legal, doesn't get her as far as it used to.
Yeah. Yeah, you only get free drugs flirting in high school, Candice.
Oh,
Just
well.
so you
It was a
know.
glorious time.
Yeah, high school certainly was. But I'll tell you another glorious time, and that is watching this week's movie, The Descent. So, Candice, I'm going to go to you first. Well, you know what? Actually, fuck that. Clay, you probably have some things you would like to promote and plug on the show. So how about we
Yeah.
get to that before we cover the movie?
And then you could do it at the end, too.
And at the end, we'll bookend. How's that sound, buddy?
It's almost like you guys know what you're doing.
No.
Let's see. No.
I'm good at pretending.
Well, you fooled me. You fooled me. Thank you for the opportunity. I have my debut novella out, Crevasse, which is the book. It sounds like Candice has talked about it a couple times before.
Yeah.
If you're unfamiliar with it, it is a book about two climbers who go up into a remote range in Washington state, and they run into a supernatural entity, which then proceeds to hunt them, not unlike what happens in The Descent, except it is more of an ascent situation. And the other POV character in that book is Ellie Jensen, who is a search and rescue veteran who sets out to find the two missing climbers, one of whom is her godson. So that is sort of the overarching premise of Crevasse. If that sounds interesting to you, you can pick it up on my website or on Amazon. Crevasse, Crevasse, by Clay Vermeulen. Other than that, Fermented Fiction, my podcast, it's easy to find. It's on all the podcast things, and we do that every Monday. What else do I got? I got a website with some short stories, and I've got a few things coming out, but I can't actually talk about too many of those yet because we don't have official release dates for any of the forthcoming publications I'm in.
Okay.
That's always
okay.
good when somebody says that, right? I got a couple things, but I can't talk about it yet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can say that even if you don't have a couple things.
That's true.
Nobody would do that.
Yeah, because then you can just say, it fell through at the last minute.
Shit, I got... Well, listen up, listeners. In a couple of weeks, I got some big announcement I can't talk about now, but tune in and listen to it.
Exactly.
Absolutely. That's showbiz, baby. Sometimes
That's
it falls through.
That's like the IMDb version of so-and-so was considered for the role. It's
Yeah.
like, no, they fucking weren't.
Hey,
yeah,
I have been considered for so many roles, you guys.
I believe it.
But, yeah, cast in far, far fewer.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, you can check that out at, let's see, I'm on Amazon.com right now looking at Crevasse, and because I'm lazy and kind of dumb, there's an audiobook here I could pick up too. So, hey, if I want to hear it.
It is narrated by Rebecca Stern, and she is super awesome.
Yeah, so you can check that out on Audible as well. Okay, here we go now, The Descent. Candice, you selected this movie. Defend yourself. Why?
Well, this is my second favorite horror movie of all time. Right underneath The Thing. And I always said we should never do The Thing because everyone's done that. Mm-hmm. Everyone's done it to death. There's nothing that we could say.
Let's do the remake of the remake.
Yeah. There's nothing new we could add to the conversation, but not as many people talk about The Descent, which always makes me sad because I think this is a perfect film. I would not change one single frame of it. I think this movie's amazing, and it has a lot of personal meaning to me as well, which when we go into the, the nitty-gritty of the movie, I'll talk about it then. But Yeah, and then
Candice, did you hamstring somebody and leave them in a cave?
Oh, so many times.
High school.
Another reason I thought Clay was a great idea to bring on is because I thought Crevasse was... What I said was, Crevasse does for rock climbing what the Descent does for cave diving. It's a lot where, like, your danger is already there. Let's just add some monsters in.
Yeah, amp it up. Yeah, very cool. All right, what about you?
I appreciate that comparison so much. It's actually going to be on the version 2. It's going to be on the back of the book, so you know.
Ooh, nice.
Look at that,
Candice.
Dropping in those DMs.
So, Candice, what's your history with The Descent?
Of course I was in theaters to see it. Of
Really?
course I dragged some guy to go see The Descent with me. And it was so funny.
It paid off wonderfully for him.
I think a lot of people get this movie confused with The Cave, which is a terrible movie that came out at the same time, and their posters are very similar. So a lot of people are like,
oh yeah, that's right.
a lot of people are like, The Descent, oh, that movie's bad. I'm like, it's not the one you're thinking of. I'm like, watch
So this is the one with the cool poster that if you look at it, you're like, oh shit, what the fuck?
Yeah, those are people.
Inspired by a Dali painting. Salvador
Oh,
Dali.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyhow. The Cave, was that like one of those mockbuster movies? It was direct to DVD kind of thing? Or
No,
did
it was
that
in
actually...
theaters. I remember seeing the poster for it right next to The Descent, and I was like, 2 tickets for The Descent, please.
Yeah, you're like, not that one. Very good. What about you, Tim? Have you ever seen this one before? What's going on?
Oh, I've seen this at least like 3 or 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
My wife loves this movie.
Really?
And she usually, I told you, we all know she hates monster movies, but this was just plausible enough.
Yeah, yeah. As long as it's weird underground people, then your wife's okay with it?
I mean, yeah. I guess that's more plausible for her to accept than like vampires or something like that.
Gotcha.
Maybe 150 years ago, family got stuck in a cave. They like to fuck a lot, and now this is what happened.
You know what?
Yeah.
That tracks.
You know how there's always like that tweet or that question, what one movie would you show someone to show you as a person? I always pick The Descent. I showed this to so many people, so many friends. They'd come over, be like, oh, we're bored. What should we do? I'm like, I have a movie we could watch. It's The Descent.
To show you as a person, The Descent.
Yeah.
You need therapy.
It's all downhill from here, friends.
Yeah. So, Clay, what about you? What's your history with The Descent?
I've always been a big fan of horror, especially when it intermingles with adventure. I'm an amateur climber and explorer myself, though I haven't done any spelunking because I don't know anybody who's in that world, and I
Would
wouldn't
you do it?
That's a good question. I think I would do it. I have done canyoneering, which is similar. You do some squeezing through tight spaces and going through some water, and it's about going down and stuff up.
Nah, fuck that shit.
But see, in canyoneering, you can see the sky. And canyons are generally like you're starting at one end and going out the other end. But in caving,
you know where you're going to end up.
usually have to go back up. And if you get lost, there may not be another entrance. In fact, like in The Descent, that's highly unplausible that there would be 2 entrances to most of these caves unless they're like miles away. It happens, but that to me is way more terrifying. So I would do it with like a very seasoned guide in a pretty easy cave and see how I felt, but I would never just do it by myself. No way.
Oh God, no. Would you
so
do
my history, I guess. Oh, sorry. What?
Would you do underwater cave dive? I mean, underwater cave, like cave diving, where you like put the mask on and that's like the most dangerous thing you can do.
You knock your fucking tank off.
Yeah, that's way scarier. Well, I'm not a diver either. I love the water, but I don't actually like diving very much. It's so hard to do. It's way harder than people think. It's really uncomfortable. It's so scary. I don't think so. I don't think I would do one where I had to go fully underwater and into a cave for any amount of time, with like a scuba tank and stuff. I don't think I would do that.
Yeah, Candice, that's a terrible question. It's like, would you go?
You never know.
Would you go cave diving? No. Wait a minute. What if the cave was on fire?
Yeah.
Hey, people do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I think like 15 people die each year doing on an average.
Okay.
I do have a morbid. I do have a morbid fascination with it. There's a channel called Scary Interesting. Don't know if you've heard of him, but he narrates lots of videos about cave diving accidents, and I do find it really fascinating. But I don't think I would do it personally.
Yeah, I'm all good on that one. I think I'll be cool just hanging out in my house for now. Thanks. So this, Candice, you're going to be shocked. You ready?
Oh,
Hold on to your chin because
Eddie has a tattoo.
no, this is the first time I've seen this movie.
no.
Yep.
How?
I think he's fucking with you again,
How?
Candice.
You know how people watch a movie? I didn't do that with this one.
If we were friends before, I would have shown you this movie.
Yeah. So first time watching it, yeah, it was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what you're going to get out of him, Candice.
No, this one was pretty good. I mean, you know, I've seen some movies that were like stinkers or whatever, and this one wasn't too bad.
It's no cave.
It's no cave.
That's for sure.
That's for sure. Never seen Cave. I might have to watch it and then compare and
my
contrast
God.
for you, Candice. I'll tell you what, though, this movie does have at least one thing. Even before I watched it, it had one thing going for it, and
What?
that is being written and directed by Neil Marshall.
Fuck yeah.
You give me Neil Marshall, who of course is a bloody buddy from Dog Soldiers, and fantastic writer director.
So then how come you haven't seen it yet?
I don't know.
This is the first time you've seen it.
I don't know, Tim. I had other shit to do. I had to watch Call Girl of Cthulhu.
I guess I'll let it slide. Not everyone can see everything. There's a lot of classics I haven't seen.
Yeah. Even though this is the one that defines you as a person or whatever, and I just outwardly was like, maybe later.
I mean, that also defines me as a person.
Oh, Candice. Don't be so hard on yourself. You got a lot of likes on Twitter. It's fine.
God, what was the last count? I think it was like 267
Look at
likes.
You. Look at
Over-
you.
She's going to play that number
Over
tomorrow.
8,000 views. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know. Meanwhile, I have celebrities on this. Like I interview like Uwe Boll, and people are like, "Nah, never mind."
Yeah, no kidding.
To be fair, though, that's what they.
Well, you didn't box.
Yeah, I should have
That's how you
boxed
get the
him.
attention.
Yeah, that's a good point. Meanwhile, but I mean, people were like that with his movies too, so I guess that's fair. So, this movie starring Shauna McDonald as Sarah, really her biggest role in The Descent is in The Descent and The Descent 2, Candice, which I'm sure
Never
you
saw
love.
it. I will not watch it.
I started to watch a little bit of it. I don't know.
I've heard
I
it's
don't
a
know,
pretty
Candice.
decent movie. It's not bad at all, but it's just so needless. It's the most needless sequel that has ever existed.
This movie made money, right?
I don't
This
know.
movie? Oh, I'm sure this movie made money.
It made enough money that somebody said a couple years later, let's do it again.
Direct to video.
That's true.
Was
Yep.
it? Oh, shit.
Okay, so you're looking at 3.5 million was the budget on this one, but that's in pounds, so that converts to American money to be whatever.
10 million.
Sure.
No,
No.
I think it's like 1.5 is the difference or something like that.
Okay. So yeah, let's say 5 million, and it looks like its worldwide gross was 57 million. So
Oh, wait. Yeah.
It made money,
Nice.
yeah.
pretty good, yeah. Then you've got, let's see here, Natalie Mendoza plays Juno.
Oh, I
Tim's
was going to
favorite.
say about the chick who plays Sarah.
Yes.
She's in an actually quite good werewolf movie called The Howl.
The
Like
Howl.
it's just HOWL Howl.
Okay.
And the I didn't watch it for a long time because the poster for it is crap. It's very
Really bad.
bad. But the actual movie is quite good. Like it's one of those rare.
Well, she got those fucking werewolf eyes already.
Like
that's
she
the
doesn't.
train. Is that the train one, Candice?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually quite good. And I was like, oh shit, it's Sarah from The Descent. I didn't know she was ever in anything else.
You're like, watch out. I think Juno is one of the wolves.
Probably. He is a
we gotta-
bitch.
We got to talk. Yeah, anyhow.
Come on. Cut us
Then
some
you've
slack.
got Alex Reed plays Beth. Saskia Mulder plays Rebecca. And Mayanne Buring plays Sam. Nora Jane Newen is Holly. Basically, I mean,
Is that the Pat Benatar lookalike?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
A lot of them, I mean, and they were, one thing I'll give them on this one, a lot of the actors here, not a big history really in horror or otherwise. So kind of, lesser known, more independent.
Everybody's really good.
Yeah, a lot of
They do, man. They act their asses off in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think most of them had maybe 4 or 5 credits to their name before this. Mostly like shorts, maybe an episode of a TV series.
I told you in Dog Soldiers
Not a lot.
that Neil Marshall was like, okay, I made a movie that's almost entirely all men, and it's super masculine. So he wanted to make a movie with an all-female cast. And not make it about their boyfriends or something like that, or I can't get laid. What can I do?
But then the major twist in the movie is about her boyfriend.
But I think that, no, it's about her husband. And I think the interesting thing about that is she's not harping on her dead husband the entire movie. It'll get brought up when it needs to be. But for the most part, it's not her honoring his memory or anything like that. It's not really centered on the romantic relationship that she had.
Yeah, it's
which
more
I think
about
is refreshing.
Her kid, which is like
makes sense.
No,
it'd kind of be upsetting if you lost your kid. I mean, losing a spouse would suck, but your kid, come on.
You always make another one.
Bit of a bummer.
Yeah, your child dying is a bummer. That's true.
I had a bad day.
Your child going out like.
Sweet little lawsuit going.
Oh, no. Huh? Yeah, damn, no kid. That was my first thought, was like, time to go to the lawyer's office.
What's wrong with you two? You see this huge tragedy happen, and the first thing you think is, I'm suing.
Yeah, cha-ching.
I mean, look, you gotta pay for the spelunking somehow.
Yeah, that gear looked expensive. I mean, the ice picks that they had, those things were fucking awesome.
You know what, Eddie? I just thought about that. Yeah, they all must be spending some serious ass fucking money because every year they're doing something different. It's not like they do this all the time, so this is stuff they've already had. Every year, I guess it's like they're doing like a deliverance thing where one of them picks where they're going to go.
Mother's Day.
Yeah.
That was also in Mother's Day, too.
That's true, yeah. Oh, man.
That's right.
So, just a little bit of the background stuff on this one. One of my favorite things was that during production, the name of the film that they used, the joke name, was Chicks with Picks, which is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Now, see, you would have watched it if they named it that.
You know what? I probably would have. That's a good point, Tim.
God. You'll watch Call Girl of Cthulhu, but you won't watch Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
You need to get your priorities straight.
No, they're fine. Thank you. Let me ask you a question.
He likes a different.
I'm going to put the over-under on 7.5. How many boobs were in Top Gun Maverick?
0.
See?
But you got Jennifer Connelly.
But so many topless men.
That's
it was fantastic.
You do.
Yeah, I know. Candice, that
the football scene.
Whatever the fuck game that was that they were playing.
What was it? Dogfight football.
You know how it's different than football, Eddie? Because you play offense and defense at the same time.
That's how you coagulate together as a team.
Coagulate?
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. I'll use that word.
That's a way to say it.
Yeah, sure, that works. I don't know if that's the word I would have chosen.
And at that point, Candice just like,
Someone else was coagulating. I'm sorry, Clay, I warned you.
You did. I came prepared.
You were frothing at the...
What the hell are in those DMs?
Candice was frothing at the slit.
Oh, God. I told my husband that. He completely no-sold it. And then, like, a couple of days later, I brought it up again, and he was like, that's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard.
Stop saying that. Stop it. Stop.
It's like an Alka-Seltzer.
It's like a thirsty bloodhound.
All right, Candice, I'll give you this one here. Do you have any background notes you want to get to? I have a couple, but I want to address them during the movie. So.
No, I'm good to go.
The other one I have is that the crawlers, which is what they kind of called the monsters that you'll see. Spoilers, by the way, everybody watch the movie. If you haven't, I know I kind of no-sold it to begin with, but it is a good movie.
It's a great
Anyhow, the crawlers, they filmed at 18 frames per second.
Give him that jittery look.
Yeah. Neil Marshall called it staccato movement.
Ooh, there was something about the production I wanted to bring up. You jogged my memory. The fact that this was filmed on set. Like
yes.
you watch this movie, it feels so real. Like you are in there.
That was a question I was almost feeling stupid to ask because, I'm like at certain points, like there's no way that could be a set. And there's other points where it's like, all right, they're fucking standing in front of a green screen or something like that.
Look at the deeper shot.
Like when the bats come out or like, what I think is a really good shot is like when they all first get down that main cave and you see like all the shots of like the two of them over here, two of them all the way in the foreground and like just to see how big the cave is. That kind of looked a little bit like a wonky shot, like put together, but everything else looked fucking legit.
Yeah, the outside was shot in Scotland, like the exterior shots, and then all the interior shots were on set. And the tunnels were the same pieces of tunnel that they would like piece together in different things so it looked like a different part of the tunnel.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, how the fuck are you going to film that movie in a real fucking cave?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it would be completely impossible to do it, but when you're watching it, you buy into it.
Oh yeah,
you feel it.
Yeah. He had constructed 21 cave sets to film this movie, and basically reused those sets from different camera angles to make it appear to be a different section of the cave.
And that is called a skilled filmmaker.
Yep.
That's how you make this movie for $5 million.
And not to mention that for realism, oftentimes he limited them to only using lighting that the characters would have brought as light sources, so that it just feels a lot more claustrophobic.
There's parts in there where I'm like, I can still see clearly, but she's supposed to not be seeing anything. But then you're like, you can't film completely in the dark. That's insane.
Yeah, that's a great fucking movie,
Exactly.
Candice. Guess what? The movie literally is called Pitch Black for a reason, because 80% of the movie is
you just hear what's going
great.
on.
You just couldn't see anything. That'd be fucking fantastic. Oh, there's a big scary monster. I can see it because I'm a Fury and my eyes can see in the dark. But
so angry.
If you don't like it, it's because you don't get it.
True. That's almost always the case, right? I would also like to point out as a production note, from a climbing standpoint, this is one of the best portrayals of climbing I have seen in any film. I mean, there's definitely still some Hollywood, but like placing the cams, she like places cams the right way, and there's the scene where the character has her on too loose of a belay, and so when Juno falls, it lacerates her hand super bad.
Yeah.
You always see people like grabbing ropes like stuff like, or like catching themselves on the edge or things like that. And like, if you grab a nylon rope that is flying in any way, like your hand could get sawed right in half. So that was pretty cool to see that actually happen in a movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did some rock climbing in college. And so this is another reason this movie really resonates with me, is because I've done this. I mean, not in a cave, but like I've done climbing, and nothing major. But yeah, like the training that you get, like you belay on, it's like, ready for descent or whatever. And yeah, like they really do nail it.
Whatever.
You don't say that.
So Candice, one last point here. Neil Marshall cited several films as inspiration for this. So I'm going to name a couple here.
The Shining?
Of course not. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I could see that.
Yeah, especially with the ending.
There's so much blood and shit and piss.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The Thing.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. Deliverance.
Good pull.
And he said he was...
None of them had
And he said he was
mouths,
very inspired by Italian horror films of the past, in particular those of Dario Argento and Fulci.
Well, yeah, the Fulci. I don't know about Argento.
Of course, the Fulci. Yeah, the Argento.
Except for maybe like the red lighting.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. That and some of the weird, like, birthday cake dreams.
Oh, yeah, the dream sequences.
Those are I could see that, totally. All right, so that's all I got for the background stuff. Let's get to it. Before, though, real quick, Clay, what's the best edition of D&D, do you think? You big 5e person, or?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I have always played 5e. I've tried like 3, but it's too much math for me.
Yeah.
I like the role playing aspect a lot more than the doing math competitively. So yeah, I like the 5e.
Oh no, come on, math competitively.
And then
is so
4
much
was
fun.
okay, but 4 is really heavy on the like combat simulation. It's a little more like Warhammer-ish, kind of. I didn't really feel. I'm with you. I like 5e. What's your favorite campaign setting? Would you say?
How so? What do you mean?
I mean, like Dragonlance or Ravenloft or Spelljammer. Any particular or?
Oh, to be honest, I haven't played in a lot of the like sanctioned D&D worlds. I've played with a bunch of friends who just made up their own shit.
Best way to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how I played like 90%.
All right. What about you,
I
Tim?
played a bit in the Baldur's Gate.
Okay. Cool.
universe.
Cool. Tim, what about you, buddy? Yeah. What's your
D&D?
favorite die?
Only breast.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Speaking of breast, we open on a bunch of broads whitewater rafting. They're
Very
playing little-
PC.
Yeah, great transition. That was a good transition right there.
That's what I'm here for. Then we cut to them playing a little bit of grab ass in the raft. One of them leaves, then gets pushed off of their raft. I say that's a little bit dangerous. He shouldn't be doing that.
Could have cracked their
You
head,
don't
right?
want to horse
Yeah,
around.
that's why you wear the helmets.
Exactly.
Actually, it probably would have worked out better if she got hurt and they had to stay there like an extra 10
That's
minutes.
true.
Waiting for the ambulance.
So then they all separate, and our hero, Sarah, gets into her vehicle.
Well, first you see a little look.
Oh, yeah.
See the husband taking the helmet off of Juno.
That's what got my wife. That's what got. She's like, why is she taking her
Yeah, no, he
helmet
does
off?
it slowly, and she's just staring at his face.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I see what's up. And so does Beth.
And the other friend knows what's up too.
Yep.
She sees that look, and she's like,
She knows exactly what's going on, but she's not going to say anything.
Well, what kind of a friend is that then?
That's well, okay. Maybe
cautious
she
friend.
noticed it.
You got to be careful with that
Maybe
shit.
she noticed it just then, but then that thing happened. Like then he fucking dies, and it's like,
Oh,
oh
yeah.
yeah, by the way, the guy you're
Yeah.
mourning.
Yeah, that's true.
That might not even be your daughter. Your husband. cheated.
Yeah. That's a good point. Damn. I don't think that's how it works.
Beth is also friends with both of them, right? So that puts
Yeah.
her in a pretty
Yeah.
tough situation.
Yeah, they're all friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But you know, if you know you've got friends that you're better friends with,
Yeah,
you know, I feel like you're
Mhm,
better
mhm.
friends with Sarah.
True.
And Juno, I don't know. She seems a little.
Juno, her. You got to. What's the wording I want to put here?
She's got
you
too much
gotta-
energy.
She's very selfish,
Yeah.
extremely selfish, but in a.
Hold on.
Here
Hold
we
the
go.
fucking phone. Candice, you have told us multiple times that if you were in certain situations, you would hamstring somebody and leave them for the
Yeah.
monster. So
I'm
you
the
could get
bad
away.
friend. I never said I identified.
You're the
I never
Juno
said I
in this.
identified with Sarah, did I?
That's a good point. You're just out stealing people's husband, leaving people for dead. Yeah, perfect. I don't know. I have to admit, though, as the movie progressed, I started liking Juno more and more.
Really?
Oh, yes.
I kind of last.
It's men. It's fucking men. She has this pull
Not
on men.
sexually, not
Hey,
like that.
take it easy. I didn't like her more throughout the movie at all.
Yeah, she's terrible
I didn't
Yeah.
mean like attraction. I just meant like I agreed with her more and more.
because she has that allure. You're more
But
likely
how?
to buy her bullshit.
Oh no, it's all because I find her attractive. Otherwise, she's a stupid fucking bitch who's putting
No,
everybody's
that's
life
the
at
part
risk.
of it.
We're going to go down a fucking
Okay, you're right.
unnamed
That part
cave.
I hated. But when she's just like fucking hits the chick through the throat and she's like, well, what the fuck am I going to do? I mean, I'm like, yeah, I mean, she's fucked.
and then
I don't
lied
know.
about it.
Well, are you going to tell the truth?
Well, again, at that point, that's when you tell everybody afterwards. You don't want everybody being afraid of you for the
You're
rest
being
of the fucking
chased by
trip, right?
monsters. You know how many convenient people can just go away when you're being chased by monsters, Candice?
Good point. Yeah.
Could have at least finished her off.
That fair.
would have been the
Fair.
considerate thing to do.
Yeah.
I think she might have done that a couple minutes later in the movie, because she there's one point where she like rescues her other friends, right?
Yeah.
And she looks like she's almost ready to take that other fucking chick's head
Yeah.
off too, for like a second. And the other one, then she comes up and hugs her, and
So,
she's like, "Oh,
we'll
she
get
comes
to
back.
that. So, As Sarah and her spouse and their child are leaving and talking about celebrating her birthday, we see they're not paying attention while they're driving. Get into a head-on collision with a white van, never good, and we get a bushel, an assortment of copper pipes that fly through the windshield and like Final Destination out right through the back of one of the headrests, and they don't show you which headrest.
But
initially.
you see the position of the pipes and where they went through the car, and you can guess.
And you see the position of where the little girl is.
And
too.
it's just like, oh, whoever was in there, they're fucking toast. Like,
and I got to point out,
and it's nice because the camera pulls away, you see the guy's hand and arm twitching.
Yeah, that's rough. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to point out that the conversation they were having, which caused him to get distracted and veer into the other lane, is the fact that he's been so distant lately. Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had to stand there for like 7 hours at the bottom of the river waiting for them to come down the raft just to see them for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'd be a little bit pissed too, I think. You got to remember too, this is 2005, so maybe 2004. They didn't have Nintendo Switch back then. What the fuck? You just have to be sitting there.
Oh my God, he's stuck with that kid in the fucking mountains waiting for a mommy and her friends to come down for 3 hour fucking rafting tour.
Yammering.
I'd want to get home too. Stop talking.
Yeah. You know what? I'm inviting the fucking crawlers. Get up here. Get rid of this fucking kid. Shut up. Goddamn. So,
no insurance money.
Yeah, insurance money. Yeah.
Pay for,
good point. Thanks, Tim, for centering me. So we cut to her kid blowing out candles on her cake. Then Sarah wakes up in a hospital and unstraps herself from the bed. She gets out, and as she walks around like 28 days later in the abandoned hospital with the lights going out behind her.
But I love the reveal. Was she just like banging in the fucking people left and right and knocking people off?
Yeah, I think she was. She was just in a fugue state.
Yeah, because then we cut to reality, and they're like, "Dude,
there goes Rabbity.
Calm the shut up."
Oh God, Candice. You know, it did pop into my mind for half a second, but I'm like, nah.
Don't worry, I'll do it.
Don't worry, I'll do it. The Candice story. That's the name of your book, Candice. So, then cut to, we find out, oh shit, her husband and kid died in that wreck. And it's a year later, and they decide they're going to go out to the Appalachian Mountains to go spelunking.
What? You know.
Too short of a time, right?
A year?
Too short.
Mean, a year is just long enough that you might want to get out and do something, but also soon enough that the wounds are still raw.
Yeah. So, Clay, how about you? It's been a year since your cheating significant other and child died.
She doesn't know that yet.
Okay. Right. You don't know it, though. Have died. And how long do you wait for your next spelunking trip, would you say?
Oh, dude, I'd be out like the next week because that would be like my coping mechanism. I'd be out in the mountains all the time, I think.
Okay.
See?
Clay, that's going to make the insurance adjusters very suspicious.
He's off the grid.
Yeah. I'll wait till the check clears. You're right. Thank you, Tim. Again, centering us here in the show. But yeah, I think I would have to be out even more. I would not be waiting a year. That's for sure. It'd be one thing if the husband and daughter had died spelunking or something, and that was like directly linked to my trauma. But this is a completely separate incident, so it wouldn't have affected my ability to spelunk.
No, but isn't there a part later on where we see Sarah driving like a
I was thinking that. Yes, when they're driving, I was like, dude, what are we doing here?
Slow down, right?
Pump the brakes.
They just drive it way too fast.
Down.
Yeah.
But this was another way that I identified with this film when I first saw it, is because it's set in North Carolina. It's actually
the birth of
First in Flight.
I saw that, Candice. I was like, you know what's great? Yeah, you know what's great about living in North Carolina is people are so eager to get the fuck out of that state that they invented flight.
It it was a big fight between North Carolina and Ohio because the Wrights brothers were from Ohio. So they wanted, now theirs is like the birthplace of flight or something like that. And North Carolina is first in flight. Kitty Hawk, North Carolina.
Okay. God damn it.
Not only is it North Carolina, but also I was a big hiker. And I did a little bit of rock climbing then too, because sometimes I lived in the middle of nowhere on the ridge of a mountain. Sometimes I had to, if I wanted to get back home,
just to get to school,
climb like embankments and shit.
Up mountain both ways.
And I was glad.
Yeah, I was going to say, by hiking, do you mean going home? I mean, like...
I just walked. I was on other people's land. I'm 100% sure of it, but I would just walk. I would just carve my way through the forest and then find my way back home.
Stills.
Yeah, Tim, for your information, forests are clusters of trees. A bunch of them together. Right? Exactly.
They're like parks, but big.
Right.
Imagine like Central Park, but without the homeless people.
Impossible.
So we cut to the group of friends. They're all staying in a shack that's made out of shitty wood and bones.
That's actually a really nice cabin. I've been to worse.
The outside did not look great.
I did see that. I was like, what are they? Where are they balling on a budget here or what? I had also just come from Knock at the Cabin literally yesterday, so that ritzy cabin is maybe what I was comparing.
Yeah, that's the glampers. So my dad lives in a cabin smaller than this, and like he handmade a bridge because you have to cross a stream to get to his cabin, and he handmade the bridge for it and everything. Like
Candice, why can't your family live close to civilization?
We're hateful people. We don't want to be around other people.
Candice,
climbing fucking mountains, building rope bridges.
Candice, quick question about your dad. How's he feel about the vaccine?
I haven't asked. I'm not going to.
There we go.
I've already.
That's the best way. Yeah.
We know he's not.
Getting over
That's a real bitch building mentality you got right there.
The nanobots can't get you over that bridge.
Fair. Very fair. Yeah, well, I mean, you can't get COVID if you never interact with another living being. So you don't need the vaccine. It's a very good point. So, yeah, this shitty fucking cabin. Then we've got all of them in here. The whole gang is here. You got Becca, you got Sam, you got Holly, you got Juno, you got...
And Holly's the last minute addition, right? She's not really part of them.
Like, what, fifth wheel, I guess I could say? Or sixth wheel?
Yeah, because she introduces
Protégé.
Juno's...
Protégé.
Yeah. What the fuck does that mean?
Gee, I wonder what that could mean.
I
think Juno's like kind of a... If Juno was alive today, she would be an influencer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she would be someone who makes YouTube videos of her cave diving and rock climbing and stuff like that. So she might be like an apprentice.
So Juno was going to...
Can I subscribe and get a notification?
She's dead.
Yeah. So Juno was going to...
part two.
So Juno was going to retire and she was going to take over Bang and Paul? Was the plan, I guess.
Going to tag out.
Yeah.
No, you go after this guy. You go after this girl's husband.
Just nothing to it. Nothing to it.
So, yeah, they're just hanging out, having a good time, throwing cheese poofs at each other, taking photos that they're all embarrassed of, which is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, they're just girls. They're just girls having a good time, hanging out with friends, letting off some steam.
Just women being women.
Yeah.
And then
I know it's uncomfortable for you to see a group of women getting along together and not talking about men. I know you're not used to this.
They did talk about men a little bit.
I don't mind them not talking about men. It's them getting along that bothers me.
Oh, okay. Can't let them group together.
Well, right, because then they're going to start trying to overthrow shit, and we've been working for hundreds of years to keep things how they are.
Yeah, we can't let them compare notes.
Divide and conquer. That's what I always say. That's why we made makeup companies and the whole beauty industry to tell you you're broken. Anyhow, Holly's pissed off that the caves they're going to are like bitch-ass caves. Like, you might as well just have like a gift shop in there and shit.
No, I think she says that it does have handrails.
I've been to a cave like that.
Yeah, of course. Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
course, that's a
I've been to
touristy
Linville
part.
Caverns in North Carolina, and that's exactly what it sounds like. There's a tourist. There's like a
Man, people are so eager to get out of that state. They'll go 100 fucking feet
Below
down
ground.
ground.
you have a guide. There's gates and chains up saying don't go past this point or you will fucking die.
Mm-hmm.
Do people take the guns out and shoot those signs?
Can't tell me what to do.
Oh, that's a good point. Is the guide there because most people can't read the signs, Candice?
Oh, you're always escorted.
Okay, so that tracks. And I do notice in here that Sarah has trouble sleeping, and she is next to a pill bottle, so you know she has trauma.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I just wrote down A24, you hack. When you take a woman who suffered a massive loss, has some trauma, then goes out, experiences something that may be supernatural or may not. It's hard to tell.
Eddie,
Has
don't
unreliable
antagonize me.
friends that maybe don't help
Well,
her
I can
out
tell you
the
the
way
big
they
difference
should.
is the fact that this movie is actually scary and engaging and heart-pounding, and A24 movies are snooze fest. Ooh, look how pretty.
Oh, wait, I thought he was talking about
look
Malignant.
That's not an A24 movie.
Well done, Tim.
A24 movies are like, ooh, this is a metaphor for the 5 stages of grief. Oh, did she see something or did she not? Look at this cute camera angle that we're going to hold for 5 fucking minutes while nobody talks and just looks at each other.
Oh, another fun fact about this, when they were originally writing in this film, when Neil Marshall was, he wanted to lean into the fact that those monsters might not have existed.
You know, thank you, Eddie, because the one little problem I had with this movie is that they showed the monster a little bit too soon.
So,
I would have liked it better if we could, because she goes in this whole thing with going into the cave about all these different hallucinations that you can have: auditory, visual, paranoia, claustrophobia, this, that. And I was like, you know what, play that up a little bit more. Is she just fucking crazy and she's going to be like killing people?
Isn't the premise of the
crazy?
second one? No one fucking believes her that that's what happened. They think she killed them all.
Know.
I only watched. I remember we saw it when it came out. I don't really remember that much. I watched the first 10 minutes of it, and she gets out. Again, very Texas Chainsaw Massacre. She gets in a truck, I think, and they don't believe her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because she has all this blood all over her. They're testing it. It's not her blood. It's other people's bloods. And what a crazy-ass story. So her, the sheriff, and a couple of, I guess, army guys go down to a mine shaft to see what happened. So it's kind of like Aliens
Gino's
2.
uncle is actually a United States senator or some shit like that, or a representative.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
So it's like,
shit, Candice,
I didn't see it. I watched the kill count of it. So that's the only reason I know.
Good cheater.
Yeah, but I guess they might have even, I'm not sure if they filmed it or not, but I know Neil Marshall was talking about, there was a scene in the hospital where quickly in the background you see one of the crawlers, but they cut that out.
I'd be okay with that. I would be okay with a twist like that where you're not 100% sure. It's not ambiguity I don't like. It's people standing there staring at each other for 5 minutes without saying anything.
Get off the A24 thing already. Jeez, Candice, we moved on.
I thought Lamb was pretty good. I thought Lamb was super creepy.
Yeah? I haven't seen Lamb yet.
I haven't seen it. I'm not going to. So, no offense to you, Clay. I'm sure you liked it.
Maybe I'm not leaving.
Of all the A24 movies, it's the only one that's actually kind of scary, I would say.
Okay.
I would recommend it. I don't like A24 either, so I'm with you.
Yes.
All right, so just for reference, what are some of the A24 movies? Because I don't pay attention to the studios.
Well, they recently did The Whale. That's like their big one that's out right now. I have not seen The Whale. I probably will because of Joaquin Phoenix. Or, because of Brendan Fraser, and I thought he was gone forever. But, they did, Problemista, Earth Mama, Sharper.
Hereditary is their biggest horror movie.
Hereditary.
The Witch.
Nice. See, Hereditary's a great movie.
I do love The Witch as well. That's one of my favorites.
I don't really like The Witch. It was okay.
Did they do Midsommar?
Yeah, they did Midsommar.
Oh, come on,
Never gonna watch it. I fucking hated Hereditary. I hated it so much. They also
did Green Room.
I did like that movie.
That's a good movie.
They did Swiss Army Man, which is a fantastic movie.
Okay.
Is that one with the Harry Potter guy?
Moonlight.
Okay. Yeah.
No idea. Okay. Well, it's
I
enough
didn't
of those.
watch Moonlight, but I heard it was good.
That Richard Pryor
The
movie.
Richard Pryor movie. Tim, shut up. For those of you who don't know,
Like, we don't need to
that's
retread
a
that.
deep cut Candice joke. So
The real listeners
Sarah's
will
having
know,
trouble
yeah.
sleeping. You see the pill bottle next to her. You know, she's got some A24 trauma going on. She gets up, goes to check her window. Bam! Metal pole comes in and kills her. Oh, it's just a nightmare, though. And I just wrote down, I hope we get a lot of random metal poles just flying around through the whole movie. It would be fantastic. She just keeps hallucinating metal poles in a cave.
A lot of things do penetrate.
Yes. Oh, my God. Yeah. So many pickaxes.
Oh,
to the
I forgot I
head.
had in my notes. So did Paul say love each day or love each friend? Or was that his motto?
Candice. So
that's a workaround. Hey, that was yesterday. I loved it.
they
Today,
have a
I
fun,
love it with
playful
you.
morning, take a group photo, then off to the caves.
Well, there's
But-
this part that always gets me is in movies, whenever you see somebody jogging, you know, it shows like, oh, they're in shape, they're fit. And you see them, they're like, oh, I just went for a 5-mile run. And they're not even sweating.
Mhm.
They might be slightly winded.
No. Here's the other thing with this movie that I noticed is nobody says wet.
Well, yeah.
They're all like the scenes where there's one scene where Juno's standing underneath like a fucking waterfall, which I watched like 15 times just to make sure I had it right. And then in the next scene, which is supposed to be like 10 seconds later, she's completely dry. And when they all go through that little tunnel thing where they're all crawling through the water a little bit, their clothes are 100%
Well, maybe if
dry.
Paul
the next
was
scene.
there, then that wouldn't be a problem.
They'd all be, you know, frothing.
Frothing. Yeah, so they have their fun little morning with their group photo, head off to the caves, and I've noticed several mistakes that they're making along the way. One of them, Sarah left her pills behind.
Bum,
Next,
bum, bum.
Juno might be lost on their trip there. And then one of them has trouble setting her stupid watch. I don't remember which one because I didn't care much about it.
Will these things come back to play?
And then Juno leaves the guide to the caves in the car.
Almost like maybe what you think is going on is not what's actually going on, or what the characters think is
then
going on.
Everybody hit your horror movie checkbook or check mark on the bingo card. That's what those things are called. Anyhow, hit this one on the bingo card. They along the path to get to the caves run into a dead animal.
There is no deer in the Appalachian Mountains that look like that.
Well, that's an elk.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an elk.
A
Yeah.
gigantic
It's an
elk. Yeah.
There are no elk.
Nice, Clay. Nice. How do you like that shit, Candice?
There are no elk in the Appalachian Mountains. I can attest to that.
How many fucking horror movies start out with them either accidentally hitting a deer or like just along the way finding a dead animal?
Oh, I think
Is this where the Fulci thing comes in?
no. I think the best instance of that used in any film was with the turkey movie.
Oh, yeah.
Thanksgiving, when the
Thanksgiving.
bunny goes flying into the fire in front of
Mm,
God, that's such a great movie.
terrible.
Best
Classic.
instance of dead animals showing something's wrong.
Yeah.
A24, take notes.
Yeah.
No kidding.
You just need a puppet of a rabbit flying into a fire, and Candice is right there for you, A24. If you wanted to get her vote, if you needed her approval, that's what you need to do.
Yeah, forget the whale. Make the turkey.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Who would
And,
play turkey?
Yeah, so they
That's
walk by the dead elk. They're cool with that. Find the cave, which is a hole in the ground.
It's literally just a hole. There's no like entrance to it. There's no like path leading up to it. This is just a gash in the ground.
Candice, a lot like my grandfather told me, every gash is an entrance. You've just got to work hard enough.
God.
Oh boy. Okay.
Work hard enough, you persevere.
I'm wondering is how did Juno find this? Because we're going to find out
Yeah,
that
it's a good
this isn't the one that they were supposed to go to. This isn't the level 2
that's a
cave
good-
with the gift shop.
It's a good
How did
question,
she find
Tim.
this?
She just in her back pocket had an unexplored cave.
Well, that's if you are researching an area extensively, which I would say somebody as experienced as Juno in the woods probably would. you're usually, a lot of people are specifically looking for those like first descent projects. So Juno seems like the kind of person who
So
would
there
hunt
is
that
a way
down.
to find it then.
Yeah, if you can connect like other cave systems and water systems, there's definitely ways to map that out. I'm certainly no expert, but I'm sure there's ways to map it out, judging by other cave systems and such.
I was trying to tee Tim up for an unexplored cave in a back pocket joke.
I blew it.
He missed it. That's okay. You were fine. You were knowledgeable. I was trying to give a stupid
No,
prompt.
no. That's okay because I didn't even make that connection
Tim.
at all.
You'll have lots of sopping wet cave opportunities. I mean, there's a lot of that in this movie. So
Just keep an eye on it. Your yearly review is coming up. So they rappel down to the cave. By the way, this right here, this scene, this is number 842 in Ways I Will Not Die.
Descending into a cave with climbing gear?
Guaranteed that will not happen.
I could do this part, but that's as far as I'm going. I'm not getting down on my fucking belly and scrunching through the fucking hole.
I'm not even claustrophobic and fuck that.
I have the exact same note. I'm not claustrophobic, but no fucking way would I do that.
So they get down there. Immediately, they find a bloody handprint, a million bats.
Another thing is, this is like fucking Three's Company. A lot of these things could have been avoided if people just fucking said something.
Yeah.
There's a bloody fucking handprint here that's pretty damn fresh.
Found by Sarah. And she's the one who's unreliable.
Yeah. Hey, ladies, come over here. Look at this. Am I crazy or is this blood? That's it.
They'd find a way to dismiss it.
And the other thing, when the other lady, when she's doing the fucking thing, going across the thing, she doesn't say, hey, I found something that's 100 fucking years old in this cave that nobody's ever been in.
Best case scenario with the bloody handprint, and it's the Dark Brotherhood. Okay, and if you pass the test, you can join them, which is great. But
maybe that's who these guys used to be.
Man, those
tunnels, yeah. Those are their headquarters.
They could
be. It's a perfect headquarters.
They do look a little bit Nosferatu vampiric, so maybe they all got turned. Could be.
It's been a long time since Skyrim was a kingdom, but maybe it was in the Appalachians. We don't know. We don't have those modern maps.
So can I just somehow awkwardly fit in Juno making a remark about how she used to be a spelunker until she took a pickaxe in the leg?
To the knee. Oh, damn.
Oh, man. You missed it with the knee, man. You had it.
Still works, Tim. Shut up. So the other thing is a million bats come flying.
Oh, yeah.
Out. It's like the scene in the Goonies.
Great. It's not great CG right there. That
no,
part
the bats
hasn't
were
aged really well.
And her reaction isn't that great either. The reaction that she has isn't.
Wow. The thing that surprised me was the big copper pipe that went flying out of the wall at him.
It came flying out with the bats.
You know what? That would have been a payoff if at the end of this movie, somehow or another, she used the
that would have been good
to kill one of those motherfuckers.
The truck that went by her and haunted her should have been just loaded with copper pipe.
Yeah. It was just a bunch of like fucking meth heads that were stealing copper pipes.
Oh, the fucking log truck from Final Destination.
Exactly. Totally missed opportunity.
So yeah, they decide to fuck it. We're going to go spelunking. They find a smaller hole in the small hole that they went into. And they're like, you know what? Let's wiggle around in here for a little while and get all wet. Because there's like this weird stagnant water.
No, for real. Here's a stupid question. There has to be... At this point, they don't know that their friend Juno's fucking with them and this is this unexplored cave, right? Isn't there some kind of indication where the fuck you're supposed to go? Like, all right, look, you're going to have to crawl through some shit. You're going to have to do this and that. But here's an arrow pointing to the right hole that you're supposed to go into.
No, that would generally be in the guidebook. That's why you don't leave the guidebook in the car.
They just found an extra hole, Tim. And they went down that instead.
The mythical fifth hole.
Yeah.
It must have been their third time spelunking.
By the third time, if you haven't asked for it, you're not going to get it. It's a good point, Tim. And it gets just uncomfortably fucking narrow. And meanwhile, somebody points out, hey, this isn't how I imagined it from the books that I read about this cave.
Yeah.
Like,
Juno's like,
Pat Benatar says
Juno's
that, right?
like, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's fun. We're having fun here, right, guys?
Absolutely.
None of this sounds like fun. It's cold. It's damp. It's dark. There's a million bats. The Dark Brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
You're having cake dreams. It's just not good. Pie's better than cake, by the way. Don't get cake for your birthday. Get pie. Fucking people.
Yeah, but Big Cake has been paying off the
Yeah.
industry for so long that nobody even thinks about birthday
Yeah.
pie.
Cake money really has the birthday industry in its palm.
Big cake. It's
I think you get pies when
Big
like there's a
hostess.
death, right? Yeah, like if you're going over, you bring in like somebody's had like a funeral or something like that. You'd bring a pie.
So,
Why
Tim,
you'd bring a
That's
cake?
true.
You go sit Shiva and you bring them a pie, is what you're
Because
saying?
cakes are for celebrations and pies are for comfort.
No, cakes are for
Hmm.
According to American Pie, yes.
Very
They are for
comfortable.
cakes are for when you don't like somebody and you have to do the bare fucking minimum. You know what I mean? No,
No,
it's not.
pie is
Tim,
even more bad.
go work in an office.
Which
Which one's harder
to
to
buy?
get rid of? If somebody, Tim,
There's no pie shop.
Tim,
There
if
are
you
cake
go
shops
to a
all over the
party,
place.
if somebody's got a party, they get that shitty Costco fucking sheet cake. They have to
Oh, those are
beg
the
people.
worst.
They have to beg people to take some home. Pie, you've got to shoo people away from. You got to be like, no, don't
Shoe-fly
eat the
pie.
pie yet.
Yeah.
It's for after dinner. You don't have to shoo people away from cake. Cake sucks.
What kind of parties are you going to? Like people are attacking the pies, so you put them out.
Look, man, you don't know what I get up to in here, man. Okay? All right. So, yeah, Sarah gets wedged into this fucking narrow tunnel that they're wriggling through, and
And she is the pure raw panic on her face. And you're like, I feel you.
Yep,
I would be
and-
doing the exact same thing. I would be freaking the fuck out.
And then I was like, okay, now I get why you like the movie so much. It's starting to get enjoyable here. So she's just like trapped, and she looks like all panicked and scared. And then her stupid friend goes and helps her.
Oh,
Ruined
this part.
the whole thing for me.
Well, I was going to say, this is the part why this is one of my most quoted movies. And it's such a weird quote. It's not like particularly memorable or anything, but it really, really resonated with me when I watched it.
Is it
It's
the
the-
lemon joke?
No,
Okay.
it's not the lemon joke.
I was gonna say what's your like
Exactly.
You're known for these
You're not
shit.
going to know
Known.
it. It's the worst thing that could happen to you has already happened. What are you afraid of?
Isn't so? I might
not
be
true.
mistaken, but wasn't that the first pass at the state motto in Missouri? Could be wrong. Look, the worst already happened.
So buy a house here.
Yeah.
The worst has already happened.
Can't get any worse. I mean, yeah. So yeah, she tells her, yeah, look, it's already as bad as it can get. Just remember to breathe. And then I'm gonna I know how to distract you. I'll tell you a pussy eating joke about fucking a lemon.
Yeah, and it relaxes her enough to where she stops having a panic attack.
Yeah. But then the whole fucking thing starts collapsing.
Yeah, the look, when it shifts and
Oh,
settles down a
God.
little more, they give each other a look.
Yeah.
And they're like, they pause for a minute because, they're both thinking, like, how are they going to react? Am I panicking or is this a real bad situation? And then she's like, fuck the rope bag, let's go. And they
Yeah.
start scrambling out of there.
So Sarah leaves the rope bag behind. They get the fuck out of there. The whole thing collapses behind them, and now they are fucked, right?
Yep, because this is when Juno reveals something. Why didn't
Yeah.
she bring the guidebook?
But first, I have got the Descent drinking game. And
Okay.
here's step one. Sarah falling down, passing out, and having a dream. Every time that happens, take a drink. Because she
Okay.
does it here. She does it 5 more fucking times in the movie.
I
And
guess
this
I never
broad-
noticed it.
This bird falls down constantly. constantly just
She
falls in
gets
a
hit
pile
on the
of
head a lot.
gore.
You know, she throws up after one of them, so you know she got a concussion. Maybe she's just confused.
She was going to throw up earlier, though, just because something was yucky. Oh, yeah, when they were eating her friend.
Oh, my God. God, what a pussy.
Yeah.
I can't believe she couldn't hang with that.
Probably going to throw up from all the fucking cake nightmares. If that would have been pie, she would have been fine.
No, that's you being dramatic and throwing up. How many times did you throw up in a situation that did not call for it?
One time I threw up because a woman I was not attracted to hit on me.
Exactly. You're a drama queen. I figured you would identify with the throwing up.
That's just one, though. That's not that many.
What about Misty?
I didn't throw up with her.
You said you did.
No,
you
I
lied.
did not. I may have been a hyperbolic. Excuse me. But no, she just stunk, so we had to get out of the house. We took the rabbit out, too. We were worried about it. So, yeah. No, the group's arguing, and this is when we find out, Juno says, we're not in Boreham Caves. Yeah. We're in a new cave system.
That's never been identified. And
First
she goes,
of all,
I did this for you, Sarah, and so we can name it after you. This is your legacy. Yeah. And I love this. What? She says that to Sarah, I did this for you so you could discover it and then get your name on it as a gift for being such a bad friend and abandoning her for the past year during her most difficult time. Because she feels guilty.
Well, it was tough for her, too.
Sarah wasn't the only person who lost someone in that wreck.
Yeah, because she does.
Yep.
Yeah, she says that.
She's not the only person who lost something in that wreck. And nobody's like, what are you talking about, Juno?
No, because what's clever about that line is it could be played both ways. She could turn around and say completely innocent, look, we're all great friends, and she lost a husband, she lost a kid, she's not the same that she used to be. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about her husband.
I just assumed that if they're close enough friends, and the daughter was probably 8 years old, they probably knew her. Yeah, they probably knew the family, and so they were sad too.
That's still a shitty thing to say, though. That'd be like, Candice, imagine if a group of wandering miscreants got you, drug you off somewhere, and severed both of your legs, right?
Uh-huh.
And then they just left you behind a dumpster, right?
Okay, where is this going?
A dog.
Okay. Yeah.
A dog.
Attention, local police departments. This might be a pattern.
No. And then a dog comes by, and you think it's going to get you help like Lassie, but it pees on you, right? And then
you are spying on me.
No, then after that, you're found, right? You're rescued, you're recovered, but you're in a wheelchair. You're missing your legs, right? And I come by and I'm like, well, you're not the only thing that lost something. I used to like going on walks with you, and now I can't.
If anything, getting rid of that kid probably means that they can hang out more.
Bitchy thing to say, but
it's a horror. No, that's just it. Is that Juno's a bitch? But I do like her characterization because she's not mustache twirling pure evil bitch. Yeah. She's weak. She's a weak, cowardly person when it comes to relationships. Listen to me.
Yeah.
When it comes to relationships, when you're, you're with friends or something and things get tough and awkward and difficult, she vamooses.
Right.
She is gone.
When it's a matter.
I do have written down a couple of times. Oh, there she is leaving again.
That was consistent with her character for sure.
But in matters of
anytime it gets emotionally tough.
But I'll tell you what,
she also feels bad about it, so she's not 100% a bad person. So she's just really weak.
But I'll tell you what, though, you got a couple of those crawlers on your back. You're going to want Juno.
Oh yeah, I think that's the only reason they keep her alive for this long and haven't fucking thrown her off the first cliff they saw. They're like, she's actually the best one out of us, so we should probably keep her alive.
When she throws the pickaxe into one, I'm like, when did this bitch learn to throw weapons? Yeah,
John Wick.
This was long before axe throwing was cool. So
years before axe throwing.
Maybe Juno was ahead of her time.
Yeah, could be. She was a trendsetter.
Hey guys, watch my video about pickaxe throwing.
She's filming it with her little Sony handheld camera she had there.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Mailing it to her followers.
Yeah, just fucking putting it up on bulletin boards on the internet for people to check out. Hey guys, check out my IRC channel, I guess, because they wouldn't have had social media. God. Yeah, the internet used to suck. Still does. Although now you get podcasts, and those are great. So keep listening. And
The only good thing that's come out of the internet.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, she points out she lost something in the wreck as well. Sarah passed out and has another cake dream. Then they're like, okay, we need to figure out how to get out of here. Or we're all going to die. Right?
I have a quick question. I'm sorry. I thought the lighter was going to.
The lighter sort of did, in that it gave him directions.
Lights a torch.
They use it, but I thought it was going to. No, I thought it was going to be like her husband's lighter, and that's how she was going to like.
It's a little more subtle. It's the necklace she's constantly playing with.
Yeah, but that's not.
Yeah,
that's
he gave it to her
because it said what was it? Love every moment or whatever.
Love each day.
Ah,
which, by the way, what a douche of a husband that he's just got like a slogan.
No.
And not only that, yeah, it is his slogan because he's using it on his wife and his
line.
mistress.
It works every time. That's good marketing.
That's why I can't leave my wife, because when I'm with you, I love you, but when I'm with her, I love her.
If you had to leave a slogan with your wife that embodied you, what would you say? Like motherfucker, cocksucker.
Probably.
Candice's would be the worst has already happened. We've already learned that.
No, actually.
Well, actually.
You should know what I was going to say.
It'd be something about how you're above having a slogan, but that's your slogan. That's
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, no, they... so Juno tries to have a little bit of a moment with Sarah. She's like, listen, we're going to... I was going to name this thing after you. And Sarah fucks off. She's like, nah, fuck this. I'm going to go look at rocks or whatever we do down here. And then she finds another very narrow tunnel. Right.
Let's go down this one.
She's like, okay, let's go down this other fucking narrow tunnel. They go down it, but then Becca gets out ahead of them. And then she's like, hey, stop. Don't just go jump into the darkness. That's probably not a good survival instinct to have, idiot. Gets over there, lights up a fucking one of the little road flares. It's just a goddamn the cliff that goes into where the fucking Balrog came from.
Yeah, oh man,
Mines of Moria.
These are the descendants of the Mines of Moria.
Yeah.
It's Miramir, actually.
Miramir. Oh
shit.
My god, Candice.
Yeah.
We just know well, actually.
And Candice right now, she's like, I brought this motherfucker up.
Never again.
All right.
That's my job.
I gotta have a scoring system for these, because that's like 5 points to Clay right there. Good pull, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, that she's like, okay, well, I clearly what I've got to do here is I've got to monkey bars across this, right? Set. What did you say those things were called?
They're called cams.
Cams. Got to stick cams.
All right, now, am I understanding this correctly? What she's doing is, before she's setting up, she's sticking her open hand into a crack and then making a fist.
Yep.
Hand jamming.
And then using that to swing back and forth to put the other thing, the cans in or something like that, right? How the fuck does that not break your hand?
You train for it. They make pull-up bars for rock climbers, but it's just your fingertips, to where you can pull yourself up by just your fingertips. It takes training. You can't just do this. They seem pretty capable, so.
Yeah, these gals are great climbers, obviously. But that's called hand jamming, is what you call it. It honestly, you kind of let gravity do most of the work. You put your hand in there and especially if you can make a fist, then you honestly just kind of hang there. So as long as your arm is in good shape and you've got good body positioning,
okay.
And then you get the cam in, and it, you squeeze it like a syringe to close the middle arms, and then once it's in the crack at the right angle, you release it and it comes open, and then it can hold basically a Volkswagen could drop on it. They're super strong.
Damn.
Well, that's also if the rock around it is good. There's always a chance you could put that shit in it, and then when you put your weight on it, the rock crumbles away.
See,
that's
I'm
what I
the
say.
right person for this podcast, for this episode.
This is why we've invented VR, because I can do the exact same thing in my house.
It's not the same.
This is why there's a thing
I
called
could just
Pornhub.
beat my dick. That's a good point, Tim. Thank you.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, exact same thing. Just less risky unless you have all the windows open.
But does take a lot of upper body strength.
Beating off sure does.
Absolutely.
Yeah, less painful on your hand then.
Yeah.
Hand jamming? Well, that might be a category right there.
It is. But I think
Little
that kind of
different.
ham jamming requires a lot less money spent at REI.
Yeah. And you got to start with a finger or two. You can't just go straight to the hand. You got to, work
That's why you
your
gotta
way
do the
up.
training.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
Oh man. So yeah, she monkey bars across, sets up all of the cams, gets over there, then throws the rope back. They do the fun thing where you like kind of pull yourself upside down on the rope over like a Navy SEAL or something. Get over there. Finally, we get to the very. Oh, and she hooks it into some old hook that's up there.
Yeah, yes. Again, say something. Once everybody's past you, at that point, say something.
They did.
Yeah, they do, yeah, but also
So
it's like,
after it
that's
broke,
just like
yeah.
a small thing. I mean, you're kind of panicking at this point a little bit because you might not make it out of here alive.
That would make me panic a little bit more, Candice, if I'm in that situation and I see something that's 100 fucking years old.
Candice,
that
let's
should never
follow
be
the
there.
logic. This is an unmapped cave system, right?
Yes.
People came in here clearly, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That
And
means
no one
they-
knows about it, which means that they never made it out.
Right. So that's why you get worried.
Which they discuss later on in the movie.
So they get over there. Yeah, then the fucking thing breaks, and that's when Juno just about fucking dies because she falls down, and she's got the rope still attached to her, thankfully. And who was holding it that fucked their hand up?
I think it was Becca.
The older sister.
No, Becca's the Pat Benatar.
No, that's
one.
Holly.
that's Holly.
Right?
I
Oh,
think it was
that's
Becca, but I could
No,
be
it was
wrong.
Becca. You're right. It was Becca. So
It was
yeah,
Becca or Beth.
Well, I just found it in my notes. It was Becca. So
Ooh,
yeah,
have you
and
guys ever had a burn like that? A friction burn from holding a rope?
not like that. No.
Yep. Not that bad. No, not
No,
like
that's
that, but
gnarly.
That and it's funny because you mentioned Mother's Day
Oh, yeah.
before, Candice, and that's a big scene in Mother's Day where they try to lower her down with the.
Thank
in
God
the
you
sleeping
went the
bag, and
direction
rope
of a
cuts her hand.
movie and not something that happened in your family on Mother's Day.
There's a lot of hand jamming going
A
on.
lot of rope burns, a lot of hand
It's a
jamming.
day. It's a day to appreciate your lady.
Well, they did go take you to see Deep Throat in the theater, Tim. So I don't know what the fuck.
They did not take me to see Deep Throat in the theater. I had to wait to get it on VHS like most people did. But yes, my aunt and my grandmother, while we were on vacation in Atlantic City, went to see Deep Throat in the movie theaters. I was not brought along for that.
Okay.
They didn't want to be part of your arousal.
Exactly.
It's not like that.
That's good. See, that's good. A good way to raise a child.
Yeah, tell that to my grandmother when she took me to see Conan the
Tim-
Barbarian. Yeah.
Tim, did they make you stand out in front of the theater while they were watching porn?
No, I think at that time we were probably at the amusement park because when we were going to Atlantic City, there was no casinos. It was literally, it was just a big amusement park at the beach.
Then
The Steel Pier. They had a diving horse that went up like 50 feet and jumped into like a little fucking puddle of water.
what the fuck?
See,
It was
yeah,
a different
you can do
time.
cave-in.
Tim, was this before electricity? What the fuck was the diving horse?
That is
Look
a
it
thing
up.
that they
After
used to
you,
do.
my
you know,
God.
every time we do a show, there's always at least one crazy fucking
Yeah.
thing that I tell you about. You're all like, what?
This is like
and then after the
this
show,
is
I
like
send
your
you
weird
clips
gorilla
where it's there.
person shit, right? Yeah,
But that's true,
Oh,
though.
yeah, don't-
He
oh
found
my
it and he
God.
He
showed it
did.
to us.
we did. Yeah, they
Yes.
had a
Are you-
gorilla person.
Are we talking about like From the Congo by Michael Crichton? Those
No,
gorilla pictures?
No, this was a sideshow thing set
Yeah,
up in Atlantic City, and the thing was, you went into like a big tent, and it was these three scientists sitting in front
First
of
of
like a
all,
big control board, and they had their back turned to you.
scientists.
They were wearing white.
Okay.
They were wearing white jackets, okay, and they were in front of something that looked like a
okay.
computer at the time. And the whole shtick was they
Mhm.
caught this woman in Africa who was like this queen of this tribe, and they found out that she had this amazing ability to
Mhm.
shapeshift into a gorilla. And she's in the fucking cage, right? Again, this is the 70s, so a woman in a cage, no problem. I can take my kids in. See, there's nothing wrong with that. And what they would do is they were trying to agitate her enough to get her to turn into a gorilla. And before our very fucking eyes, this woman turns into a gorilla, and she's pounding at the fucking cage. And the end of the thing is the cage burst open, and this fucking gorilla, I mean, obviously it's somebody in a gorilla suit, comes running out into the fucking audience, and everybody tears ass out the side of the fucking tent, and the people outside are laughing their asses off, wondering what's going on, or you've already done it. Now you're watching
woman
the next
that they
sucker
just
go.
took in and stapled carpet remnants to. Just to scare the shit out of you.
I think there was a Swiss
clearly,
movie.
yeah.
Tim, I remember you saying that people in the 70s were stupider than they are today, and now I'm really starting to believe you. They were easier pleased.
Yeah, of course they are.
But happier, I have to imagine. So yeah, they Becca's hand gets all fucked up, and this is when they discover some cave paintings. So Beth's like, "Hey, light a flare. I want to take a look at these paintings."
That's another tip off that you're.
And you know what it is?
Right
Is
now,
it's
right?
Dilbert saying some not cool shit. Oh no! Wait, sorry. No, it was.
No, he would love it because they're all
true.
white down there.
He would have been fine. Scott Adams would have been great down there. But no, she's like, see, this is important because this cave has 2 holes on it. And also, whoever this caveman was, his dick was 5 times the size of that caveman's because accuracy in art. So they determined, I guess there's another entrance. So you know what we should do? Instead of just laying down here and dying like we originally planned to do, we should try to find a way out.
It is a more solid hope than they had before. Before it was like...
But it
Before it was
doesn't
like-
matter.
No, you also have to consider that, look, that fucking cave drawing looks like it's 8,000 fucking years old. That other hole isn't there anymore.
Yeah,
The other hole that we came through
Tim. The
closed
one you
up,
came
right?
in fell apart today. It's been 8,000 years since the other one. It's gone. Forget it. Good point. But like I said, what's the alternative? Just lay there? Just die? Okay, cool. Hey, now we know. Now we know there's
Pillow fight?
There was no
you know
pillows.
what? Shit.
Nylon rope
Rock
fight.
fight.
Rock fight.
Backpack fight.
Femur fight.
Trying to nail Juno in the
Yeah.
head.
Don't
Stick fight.
get her in a pillow fight, dude. She would have wrecked all of them fools.
That's true. they could have had the rocks and she could have had the
See,
pillows. They'd
Candice,
still be
we're already coming up with extra scenes for your movie here.
Oh, great.
The pillow fight scene, the tickling,
The Descent 3.
the extra rope.
It's already written.
Mm-hmm.
The Descent 3 fist packing.
Hand jamming.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah,
Sticking loyal to the subject matter is important.
exactly. Yeah, it's called a callback, folks. The hand jamming joke. No, so they hit a fork in the road, and this is when Juno's like, "Hey, I'll just take my lighter out, fire it up, and see if there's a breeze through either of these tunnels."
I
Smart.
assume that's why she brought the lighter. I guess that's like standard, probably.
No, they were going to smoke a big doob.
Oh,
when
they might have
got down
been.
there.
They were already smoking a doob in the beginning, yeah.
They were. The other ones before the night before they're in the cabin. The Pat Benatar chick and the other one are outside smoking a joint, and then when Juno shows up, she chucks the joint.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't notice that. Interesting.
Is Juno like straight edge or something, and she would have got pissed? Is that?
Maybe it would mess up her lungs because they were smoking a joint. They were taking like an edible or something.
Yeah, but they showed there was like 82 fucking
Okay,
bottles of beer on the table. So
Yeah.
if anything, don't drink before we're gonna go spelunking.
Yeah,
besides
Candice,
smoking
they
a
didn't have
joint.
edibles back in 2005. Maybe a brownie.
Oh, the trouble that you had to go through to make an edible.
Maybe a
Oh,
brownie.
Candice, you don't know what it's like.
Back in
You
my
had to go through trouble just to get it in general. I mean, I remember. Yeah, I even remember meeting shady people behind the IGA to get like some weed from
my
like the
God.
same guy that dealt meth.
Mhm.
You know, it's like, why does it have to be? Why can't we separate this out a little bit? You know?
Yeah,
Yeah, this doesn't seem like two customer bases that would go
All
well
the
waiting
times.
for it. Waiting. Meet me in the back of 7-Eleven, a bunch of potheads and meth
All the
heads
times
hanging
I had
out
to meet
together.
people after school and talk to them about horror movies while I smoked their weed. And they were none the wiser.
Mhm.
again, you didn't pay for it. Just a reminder.
Candice.
It's a lot of work.
Times are changing. Now you're paying for it. Now you're like, oh, I'm going to slow down with
Shit
this
gets
shit.
expensive.
Just chuck this joint out the car window.
Oh, man. So, yeah, we see that there is wind down one of the tunnels. Holly's like, fuck yeah, and just rushes. She's like, hey, guys, daylight. Yeah.
Oh,
I see
this
the
is
light.
another
Yeah.
part in the movie where you still haven't seen a monster yet,
No.
but you're still terrified because you're like, this is a bad idea. Something's going to happen. She's going to
Well, yeah,
fall.
these
What's going to
idiots-
happen?
Of course there is. Juno's giving the whole fucking rundown. Stay with each other. Don't go wandering off. Don't do anything fucking crazy like running blindly down a fucking tunnel.
Yeah, like
Horror
to my
bingo.
point, why this
Yeah.
movie is so good is because we've already
Yeah.
been terrified 3 times and nothing supernatural has happened yet. Because the situation they're in is already inherently scary. And then they just
Mhm.
amp it up when they include the creatures. And I think that's
point.
why this movie's so awesome.
I was going to say, Ken, this
See,
just
this
sounds
is
like
why
a
The
movie.
weird.
Shining was so good, because you've got both his potential mental illness of being the cabin fever driving him nuts, and the place being haunted.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a great part of
You know,
The
to this
Shining in the
day,
book.
Oh!
to this day, even though my grandmother is dead, she swears that there was no ghost or anything at all, that it was all
Okay, what
just
kills
him in
me
his
about
head.
this is the fact that
Oh, here we go.
Kubrick already said what the meaning of the movie was, and
Mhm.
apparently everybody still has their pet theories, even though he's the
Yeah,
person who
it's-
fucking made it, and he's
Right.
like, this is what it means.
No, he
Unreliable
literally
director.
said he was trying to give people clues about how he helped them fake the moon landing.
Oh my god.
No, I thought it was about Jack
Oh,
being
God.
gay, and that's why all those eagles were in
Eagles
the
are gay?
movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
You
Watch,
didn't know that,
watch a
Candice?
documentary, Candice, because there's like 85 different fucking theories about that movie that when you watch in each one, you're like, wait a second, yeah. Then you watch the next one, you go, wait a second, yeah. Maybe
So
that
were
one's-
you guys asking Candice earlier about all the bridge stuff because you're thinking about building your own bridges, or
It's
No,
like, so
I
what caliber of wood did he use?
yeah,
I love-
yeah.
what
That's
caliber?
it.
of-
I'm sure it's not pine, but like oak's heavy, so I don't know.
Yeah, I say
Yeah.
caliber of wood because I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
do
means
we
I'm not
measure
crazy.
wooden calibers? I
What-
don't know either.
What brand of wood was it?
I need a 2x4 44.
You got any bridge wood? I need bridge wood.
So this genius falls down. Basically, it looked like if caves had a toilet. That's what this hole looks like.
Hmm
This is the cave's
So
asshole.
she falls down the cave's asshole and just busts her fucking shin bone
Oh,
right out of
man.
her leg.
So bad.
Oh, any of you guys ever bust your leg that fucking bad?
No.
Mm-mm.
Nope. Thankfully, knock wood. I don't want to jinx myself.
I saw
Never broken a
a
bone.
girl do that when I was in grade school. They were having like a gymnastics meet, and she did this like jump thing and landed, and one of her legs went the wrong fucking way. And you know what?
Oh.
Yep.
Mm-mm,
So
mm-mm.
her gymnastic
No.
career was fucking over, clearly.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's okay. It would have been over by the time
That's
she was
fair.
13 years old.
And you know
anyway.
what?
She's lucky.
The worst part of it is that I used to watch her do gymnastics, and now I couldn't do that anymore. So I lost something too.
Oh, so it
Oh
really
my
affected
God.
you.
No, it did affect me because her mother was sitting next to me and fucking shoved me as hard as she could to get down there. I'm
What a
like,
bitch.
fucking dumb bitch.
Mm.
I should look her up and sue her.
You aren't going to be able to sit
Oh,
next to
Tim, I
Stacy's
should
mom
sue her,
anymore.
right? Oh, my
Absolutely.
shoulder. You hurt my shoulder.
Oh,
Easy money.
man.
Easy money.
That's still eating at you today.
No, you want to say
Right,
you hurt
right,
your
yeah.
neck or your back because that's
This might be the
impossible to
worst
prove.
bit you've ever done as far
Yeah.
as like amoral.
It's just me. I'm in the hospital.
Really?
Oh, no.
Candace? I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Come on. You need to go back and listen to the podcast. I've done way worse than this. No, it's just me. I'm in one of those neck braces like Andy Kaufman had.
Oh, you look like
On
from
Letterman.
Freeway. You look like Kiefer Sutherland in Freeway. You got like your jaw wired shut and shit.
In traction and shit. Yeah. Suing the mother. Oh, that'd be the best. Nah, so yeah, her shin bone's fucking poking out, and they're like, all right, we're going to splint it off. We're going to break one of the little pickaxes, stick it down there, tie it. But first you got to get the bones back in. So they're like jumping up and down on it with their legs, trying to get them to fit back in.
Because they're dumb women, and one of them definitely is not getting ready to graduate from medical school.
Yeah, one of them was talking about going shopping, and I'm like, how can you do that in the cave?
Find a way. They always have those underground cellars.
Oh, that's why she was subtly hinting at wanting to go to the one with the gift shop. I guess
there's always a merchant in the Dark Brotherhood.
That's true.
There's always somebody
you got to buy your
lockpicks and knives and poison.
Mm-hmm. You got to get all your your poison reagents.
Yeah.
But
where's the Argonian at?
This might be the worst scene for me. When they're splinting her leg. Like, because they're pushing the bone in, and all she can do is, like, scream and struggle, and she's struggling so hard it takes all the other women to hold her down.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, man, it looks so fucking painful.
Grab a corner.
Yeah.
This was actually a really good scene, I thought, in terms of, like, they did really effective body horror without, like, using gratuitous gore, which I always appreciate.
Yeah, it was subtle. They didn't go over the top.
Dude, whenever you see a fucking bone poking through skin, that's all I need.
Had me squirming.
And we find out that the it wasn't daylight, it was phosphorus in one of the rocks.
Yep. It glows.
So, way to go, stupid.
You went
good job.
Fucked over the team.
Well, they're splinting her ass up, and then Sarah goes fucking wandering off.
Goes through the bugs.
So Sarah goes fucking wandering off.
She wasn't so damn high all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Juno was mad.
Oh, daylight.
Oh, shit. That's right. She's like, take a piss test right now.
Yeah. So then, Sarah hears some kid giggling, and she's like, I should go get more of that. I'm in a cave. I heard a kid giggling. I want to go find that.
And then she found out it was just another cake dream.
Yeah. It was her kid. Her kid didn't die. It was in a cave all this time. Tim, remember we were talking about an Event Horizon when your wife dies? How if she comes back from the dead, if you're on a ship, you're not going for her?
I mean, look, in my apartment, maybe.
If I see my...
Right? Maybe in the elevator of the building that I live in, but if I'm in outer space or if I'm in the middle of a fucking cave, no.
So if I'm in a car and I see my daughter get turned into a shish kabrad version 2.0...
I was waiting for it, Eddie. Especially when Candice said, "Oh, this is about the most amoral thing you've ever said."
It's not as good a shish kabrad as the one in Cannibal Holocaust.
I forgot about Cannibal Holocaust episode. That might be the worst thing you've ever said.
That one?
No. Hey, this is Jack.
No, Nail Gun Massacre had a couple good lines.
You played the Jackass music, and you said, "Hey guys, we're getting ready to have a jungle gang rape."
That was a good one.
That was a classic.
Memories. See what kind of show you got yourself on, Clay? Sorry. So
I'm happy to be here coagulating with you guys.
Yeah, that's good. We do coagulate well together.
Yes, if you made it past Candice in the DMs,
the worst thing has already happened. What are you afraid of?
Candice, it really is your motto. It really does work for you. That's so good. So she goes wandering off, finds an old hat, and I'm like, gotta check the stats on it. It could be better than the hat you're wearing.
What kind of hat was that? Was that like a fucking Candice?
Yeah, it had +5 to blacksmithing. Or mining, probably. So she's like looking at the hat. She's like, oh, this is a cool hat. And then we get our first glimpse of a creature in the tunnel. And let's talk about the design of the creatures. First of all, inspired by Nosferatu, of course.
Oh, definitely.
What do you guys think about the creature design in this
I
one?
remember watching...
I'm going to be crude. I'm sorry, Candice, but I'm going to be crude. Where are the dick and balls?
They shadow them.
We see tits.
Yeah, because they're slapping their dongs on them when they're attacking them. And she knees one into the balls. So you know there's balls.
She does.
But they, like, if you watch it, the way they move, they always have the one leg up, covering the genitals, or like they're hunched over, so you can't see, it's all in the shadow and stuff. That's how they get away with it.
I want to see some
dong.
Some monster dong.
Yeah.
I support the
dog,
cause.
yeah.
I love that on my horror podcast. I'm like, guys, what do you think of the creature design? It's like, well, where's their dick and balls at? And Candice is like, I was looking.
That's why we have a little bit of different.
Candice is like, no, I was looking. I kept pausing it and
Frame by frame it.
I turned the brightness of my TV all the way up.
it's a pruder. Yeah, back into the sack into the left.
It wasn't made by HBO, you guys.
Yeah,
But when I watched the making of this, Neil Marshall said that he wanted them to look like people that were descended from bats. Or like they took another evolutionary branch, and instead of like being primates, they became bat people. That's what he
Okay.
wanted them to look like.
gotcha.
What do you?
Okay, and that's why we see the bats in the beginning.
Huh? What? Sorry.
I stepped.
Oh, I'm looking up bat genitals right now just to see
Oh, okay.
what you got here.
Like
yeah,
literally?
absolutely.
Is there a bat flying over your head? You
No, he
know,
took
I have
half-
a pet bat.
He was looking at it just anyway, and then that came up.
He just happened to have.
Pornhub category,
Upwing.
upwing.
They look very much like primate genitals. Yeah, they should have been in there. They should have been in
Okay.
there.
Yep.
No
Well,
excuses.
Yeah, he fucked that up then, I guess. So then that's interesting because they did kind of resemble Bat Boy, and I don't remember if in this.
I
at
do
this point-
remember Bat Boy. Yep.
Yes. Oh
Was-
shit, that's
was
right.
Bat Boy
We all remember
free,
Bat Boy.
or-
Bat Boy's always a boy. He's never grown
No.
to be a man, has he?
You don't let a Bat Boy live long enough to become a Batman, Tim. Because if you do, then there's
Put
going
him
to
to
be
sleep.
if you do, then there's going to be a Joker.
He'd be more man bat than
Fair
Batman.
would be more
if he
man
grew
bat.
up,
Fair,
right?
fair. But yeah, we don't need a Joker or a Riddler. So no,
That's
no
how you
Batman.
get Jokers and Riddlers is by
How
having a
you get
Batman.
'em. Yeah,
Yeah.
So you gotta kill the Bat Boy. So yeah, doesn't work. So yeah, we see the monster finally. Cool design. I got to admit, I did like that. I like how they did
I
the
like it,
eyes
yeah.
on
It's
him
not
too.
bad.
The eyes look really fucked up.
Yeah, that did make me think of Fulci in the Beyond with the
Yeah.
blind chick's eyes.
Well, yeah, because there's a lot of fucking eye gouging.
Oh yeah,
God,
in the eye
So
gouging.
much eye gouging in this movie. So yeah, then I gotta say here, go a little further down, and we reach the elephant graveyard level from Lion King.
Oh yeah, the mountains of bones.
Like,
Yeah.
believe me
There's
now?
bones everywhere. So they're like, hey, let's switch to the infrared on the camera, right? Turn that on. We're looking around. No, there's no breeze here. Yelling hello, and right as they're looking around with the infrared camera, and I think it's a really effective scare here, is when you just see the crawlers fucking behind them, just chilling. Like, yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
It's like, fuck that. We got to get the hell out of here. Oh, man. So it runs off, it like skitters away and climbs up the ceiling.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to separate them out, like you would
Yeah.
a herd of deer. Like you're trying to get them
Right.
to scatter in panic.
Yeah, like how wolves would circle around them. And they can hear what they think is it circling around, but clearly there's more than one. So they're like, okay, wait for kind of a safe window when they think they hear it behind them, then make a fucking break for it. One of them jumps on Holly, bites her on the neck. I'm like, well, Holly's dead. Keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah. And this is why I identify with Juno so much, Candice. Holly's dead. Go.
This is your move,
Yeah.
Candice.
This is a Candice original right here. So yeah, then they fight with Juno. One of them fucking starts fighting with her, and Juno gets a good fucking slash in on its face, and it pisses it off, man. Another one's
That one's called Scar.
Scar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight.
Well, Juno came prepared though, so she heard Scar's song, but another one shows up. And then they get into like some cool MMA fighting for a little bit.
I like this fighting though because it's
It is good.
brutal.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're just pounding the shit out of him. She gets him in a rear naked.
Well, yeah, because you got somebody who
Yeah.
can see, and you got creatures who are they're fighting through
Yeah,
echolocation.
but they've
right?
already
That
been
can't be as
established. They have
accurate.
incredibly sharp teeth, and they will go for your neck. And they have claws, really sharp claws, and they're probably they probably got like ape strength.
Ape strength, yep. And they can somehow like
Okay.
be on the ceiling of a cave climbing.
Because they're
Yes, that's. You know what? Let's go back to what Candice and Clay said. You're training your fingers, right? You're born in the cave darkness. You only adopted it.
Yeah.
That's true. They were born in it.
Right.
Speaking of Batman, yeah. So this is when she by the way, one of them fucking flees. Right. The Juno, she gets a good slash on there. Another one of them shows up. They're fucking MMA fighting. Juno gets the ice pick and just murders the fuck out of one of those things. Just pounds the shit out of it.
She starts like
with that
slinging
spike.
her arms around.
Yeah, just flailing around, beats the fuck out of it. Then she spins around to knife the next one, but it goes right through fucking Beth's throat. And I'm like, look, Beth, this one's on you.
Her bloodlust was up.
You should have said something.
You got to say like,
don't do no fucking.
Yeah, you got to be like, I'm not a monster, I'm Beth. Done. No, it doesn't.
I never thought you were fucking her husband. I'm not the only
You're the
witness.
prettiest one of us. And then they're like, oh, okay, well, now she's calmed down, so she'll be okay. But then Beth, clever, reaches up, grabs Juno's necklace, pulls it down, lays down. And she's like, you going to help me, bitch? And Juno's like, nah, I got to get out of here, man. Peace.
Oh, yeah. Juno's
Fucks
like,
off.
Juno's probably like, I hope you die, because that would be a real awkward conversation to have later.
Yeah, be really.
You know what is so great is, she fucking ghosts out like she's Riddick.
Yeah.
Oh, where she like steps back into the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, holy fuck! I love that.
Very symbolic.
Can we get the Descent 3 with Riddick?
They're all doing the what the fuck is that thing called again with the hand?
Jacking it?
No, not the ham fisting. What is it? Not the fist packing.
Cam jamming?
Cam jamming.
I don't.
Only they're all in the dark, and Riddick can see them because he can see in the dark.
Yeah,
and they don't realize he's watching.
It happens in the future. Yeah. Candice, this is a franchise crossover because these things have obviously been around a long time, right? They're doing those fucking cave drawings.
I got it.
They're still going to be here after we fuck
I got to
the
reach
Earth
out
up.
to Vin Diesel if you're listening. Here's how we pitch it, okay? So it's the Descent 3, right? The government, we just live in a universe where we accept Riddick exists, and he always has. So the government's like, look, we got to get Riddick down there to take care of this. That's all. That's the premise. That's all you need.
No, do like a split. Make it a secret descent movie.
Oh, Riddick comes out.
The next Riddick movie, he lands on a planet. He goes into the cave because that's how he's getting away from the mercs who were chasing him, and these motherfuckers show up.
Mwah. Brilliant, beautiful.
Out of the frying pan into the fire.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
See, screenwriting's easy. I don't know why people bitch about it all the time.
Come on. See how easy it is to make a movie? You're locked down here with me. I'm Riddick. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Then, but okay, so we get mad at Juno for fucking off, but Sarah fucked off too. She ran off, just like, fuck it.
Yeah, but that was in a moment of panic. That's when they were scattering the herd.
Look, in a situation like that, okay? And look, there's nothing you're going to be able to do to save the fucking lady that you just put a fucking
she's dead.
Throat, right? Yeah, she's dead. At the very least, if she isn't dead now, she's going to be dead in half an hour, and dragging her ass around, you'll be dead too.
So yeah, I'm with you, Tim.
Yeah, fucked up shit happens. Deal with it once you get out of
My
the
issue with that part wasn't an issue with Juno's choice to leave. It was her choice to leave Becca alive and to leave her holding a clue in her hand. Like, I mean, she saw it, right? So why would you leave all the evidence?
Does she see it, though?
Well, they zoom in on it, and they're kind of in Juno's POV at the time. I read it as she saw it, but maybe she didn't.
Hey, also, point of advice. If you've been fucking somebody's husband and they die, and that husband gave you a necklace with his fucking slogan on it, maybe don't wear it the one day you're with his widow a year.
No, she gets off on the danger, man.
That's true.
She's a fucking she's a junkie for that shit, right? That's like really like throwing it in your face.
What's the point? And if
that's right.
But I do think, like, if it's a cool necklace like that, wouldn't somebody be like, "Oh, that's a cool necklace," and like take a look at it? It does seem a little. I guess it's for the risk, like you said.
I guess
Dancing the razor's edge.
Oh, and by the way, when Sarah fucked off in this scene, take a drink because she fell and got knocked out again.
Okay.
Absolutely, and had a cake dream.
Yep, another cake dream. Wakes up, IR camera picks it up, and she finds another dead guy pit. That's another thing. Every dead guy pit, take a drink.
Yeah.
There's a few of them.
Okay.
Yeah, but this one,
I need to interrupt with something completely unrelated because it just got knocked loose in my head.
Oh, no.
Remember when we were talking about Xanadu? And I said that it was from that poem from Samuel Taylor Coleridge?
Movie?
This is like in High-Minded.
God damn it. Yeah. Okay.
What I forgot to mention, and is very important because I like to be thorough,
No, it's not.
is Samuel Taylor Coleridge was high off his ass on opium when he came up with that poem, and everybody knows it, and that's why Shangri-La is associated with drug use. I had to close this circle because it was bothering me.
Oh, because that's the place that you went to buy
yeah.
your pot legally, Shangri-La.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Wow.
talked about this 2 days ago.
Okay. Candice, you better get your ass moving with that fucking
Candice.
edit job to get the bonus episode out
Yeah, you
before
better hurry
this
up and
comes
edit
out.
it, Candice.
Shut up.
Meanwhile, I have to edit it because you don't have the software. Yeah, that's good. You know
It was
what?
a
Actually,
mistake.
since I'm editing it, Candice, I'm going to put some fun shit in there.
Oh no.
Stay
This is
tuned.
gonna be me talking
Don't
for
forget to
an
bleep out the part where you demean women. I was
Yeah.
supposed to bleep that part out.
I didn't demean women. What are you talking about?
Oh, when you...
He was just mean
Yeah.
to women.
Oh, well, I think you just don't understand what demean means.
Yeah, don't do that.
It
It
doesn't
means
that
take the mean out, right?
yeah, demean them. You calm them down.
Yeah.
That's what I thought you were thinking.
Right.
If women would just smile
I keep
more,
telling
we
them
wouldn't
and they
have
don't
to demean
fucking
them.
listen. Jesus, especially out in public, man. Anyhow, they look so much better.
You're just not
Even
yelling
in the
loud
cave.
enough.
Wouldn't hurt to
That's
smile. a
true.
little
I'm
bit
not
more,
yelling
Sarah.
loud enough, and you know what? I'm not wearing enough camouflage. That could be it too. So, oh man. So yeah,
Move
she
yourself to an open carry state. You'll be ready to go.
yeah. Well, every state's an open carry state if you're brave enough. So
Yeah, fines. That's just rules you have to pay for.
fines don't apply to rich people.
No, exactly.
Right. It's a sliding scale. So anyway, she watches a couple of the crawlers eat her dead friend that gets chucked down there and almost throws up. Like, I get it. A chick I didn't like hit on me once. Then Becca and Sam, they go off exploring.
I know, he's such a child.
What are you talking about?
It's virtually the same situation.
Exactly. The situations have parity is all I'm saying. Then Becca and Sam go off exploring on their own, and they hear some monsters, so they snuggle up to each other and turn the lights out. And I'm liking where this is going. So then this is when we cut back and forth between the three groups. We've got those two snuggling. We've got Sarah almost throwing up, and Juno just being a fucking badass, trying to find everybody and rescue them, right?
Yeah, is there something going on with those two? Because later on, one of them is saying to the other, "Oh, come on, baby, come on, baby
That's
girl."
her little
Gio
sister.
says at one point, right?
That's her little
Is that
sister.
her little
yeah.
sister?
Hmm.
That's a weird.
Well, they're
nickname
up
for
in the
your sister.
Appalachian Mountains, though, so that doesn't
Yeah,
really
exactly.
matter.
Oh, that's
It's
true.
the joke about it's not cheating if you're in a different zip code or whatever.
Well, they're in different countries.
Okay, I thought it was
Okay,
countries
okay.
at least.
Well, it's
yeah.
not-
I don't know. Yeah, just get out your zip
Yeah,
code.
it's-
Virginia
That's easy.
Virginia
It's a
is for
bus ride.
lovers, not family.
Well, but it's a similar rule. It's not incest if over 80% of the votes of the state are red. So you're pretty okay there. So we
Cool.
Yep.
We'll just leave that there.
Oh, and by the way, this is when Juno, she finds that there's like a path with an arrow drawn on the wall.
Yeah, because the people who were there before them left the markings of how they came in.
Right.
And that was on the second entrance. So if they follow this backwards,
right,
they're going to find the entrance.
So
hopefully.
So they could do a Predator type thing with this movie and make a prequel where it's like fucking gold miners from like 1910 who got locked in. That's why they found that fucking helmet. And that's because who made those fucking marks, right? They obviously got further. So they got pretty far compared to where they are.
Well, I think they came in the other entrance. So you don't know how close or how far away it is.
No, because then why is the arrow?
Yeah,
I agree with
that's
Candice
true.
because they did place a piton, which is that old piece of gear, and they seem to have only placed one, and it was on the far side of that chasm. So you would have to assume they decided not to try to cross the chasm at that point, and maybe tried to turn back, and then probably got eaten.
Right. Plus, why would you follow arrows or follow the reverse of the arrows back to where you came in, where you know you can't?
No. If they're showing how
no, that's what I'm saying.
Forward.
I'm agreeing with you.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
So you're following it backwards to the entrance they came in.
Yeah,
I know.
I was confused. My simple woman mind.
I understand. I apologize. Next time I'll disagree with you, just for consistency. Then the monsters find Sam and Becca, sniff around a little bit, and kind of, fuck off.
Oh, man, I'd be pissing my pants at this point. Because it screams, because it's clearly trying to get them to move or make a sound so he knows where they're at.
Right.
And he just screams right in their face.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, completely have to stay completely silent. I'm like, I'd be pissing myself.
Yeah, but they don't stay completely silent, do they?
No, because that watch comes back into play.
Mm-hmm.
It starts freaking out and going off with like all these lights and colors and sounds and stuff, and gives away their position.
I like how he turns it on with his nose.
Because he chucks it and then he boops it with his nose and it comes back on. And he's like, oh, never mind. It's just one of those rocks that when you boop them with your nose, they make a big alarm sound. Never mind. We'll just leave that be. Because how many other, alarm watches are these guys bumping into?
There's a lot of dead people down there.
Fair. Yeah. Could be getting some modern hikers. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They should have a human farm, right? Catch a couple of people, get them to mate.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they've gotten to that sociological level of development yet.
Do you think they have territory wars with other tribes?
Do you think there are other tribes?
I mean, it has to be a big enough gene pool.
You think so? Well,
to sustain a population.
That's true.
With them.
Well, they started out looking like regular people, and this is how they ended up fucking back people.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I always assumed, I don't know if this is confirmed or not, that these are the descendants of those cavemen who painted those pictures. Oh. That's what I always thought they were from. So I always try to imagine how their civilization would look like if it was underground.
Cock knocker, Candice, you might be right. Because who else would do those fucking cave paintings?
I actually would disagree. The cave painting shows a mountain from kind of far away, so they would have had to be able to see.
Yeah,
but they go out because they catch animals out there. Maybe 1,000, 1,500 years. We don't know how long these people have been there to begin with.
Candice is basically saying that a caveman fucked the bat.
That's not what I'm saying.
No, I give it to Land.
I did. Okay.
Man, cavemen will be cavemen.
They will. Bats will be bats.
That's how you get man bat.
Bats is asking
like
for
the one flying over Clay's head.
Oh, yeah.
Clay's checking out his junk.
Can't wait for me to get off this show.
He's showing off. Yeah.
Oh, so then the monster hears Juno yelling for Becca to get goes after her. So Sarah's hanging out with all the dead people, and she starts doing some salvaging to craft herself up a torch. She rips the handle of the axe off of the splint on her friend she believes is dead. Mm-hmm. Gets some lantern fluid from a weird canister.
It's an old-timey lamp, oil lamp.
Okay. A whale oil lamp.
I don't know how viable the oil still is.
Probably still burns. And she rips some cloth off of a dead dude, and she keeps telling him she's sorry. She's like, sorry, dude. Sorry. Wraps it around there, lights it, and boom, we get to see she's just surrounded by gore. and blood and death.
Yeah, because there's this part that's underwater, and it's all like goopy and chunky looking, and you're like, that's their toilet. That like the carcass room and as the toilet's the same place.
Nobody
They're
ever
like,
told
we're done
them...
eating, throw that down here. So it's like chunks of...
No, come on. That's gotta stink no matter what. That's a big fucking cesspool.
Yeah, I bet it would be
system.
fucking horrible if you, say, submerged yourself in it completely. And you got some of it in your mouth. And it's all these bat people piss and shit and throw up and the carry-on and stuff.
That's fucked up. She survives this movie, but she dies
she gets
because she got
sepsis.
an infection.
Oh, that would suck. That'd just be her luck, wouldn't it? First the thing with her husband and her kid dying, now this.
The entirety of The Descent 2 is just her in the hospital.
Fighting an infection.
Trying to, like, broad
metaphorically
spectrum.
descending. Made by A21.
And then, ironically, her friend who was going to become a doctor would have developed a broad-spectrum antibiotic strong enough to fix it. But because she died in the cave...
Man, see, the ripples, man.
Yeah.
The ripples.
It's the butterfly effect. Yeah, it's a crossover.
It's flapping its wings in Peking and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we can get the butterfly effect universe
With Ashton
into this
Kutcher?
one?
Why not?
Isn't every universe the butterfly effect universe?
What a fucking movie that one is.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you have a stillbirth, that technically is a butterfly effect situation.
Oh,
We
that's
forgot
right.
the
I
ending.
forgot the movie ends where he goes
Kills
back
himself.
and hangs himself in his mother's womb. And then, what about the ripple effect that's going to have on that poor mom? Right? She's going to find out that her kid autoerotic asphyxiated
But Tim, you don't
himself
understand.
in her
He's
womb.
dead, so he doesn't have to experience it.
Yeah. That's
Perfect.
her problem.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. So that's all that matters.
That's her problem.
Talk about Freudian, am I right?
Yeah.
Talk about MILF Manor.
Next week on Milk Magnet. Yeah.
Oh,
We're going to go
by the way.
inside your mother's wombs.
By the way, Clay, you got to watch MILF Manor if you're not, buddy. It is a
I'm not gonna-
fantastic.
I'm not going to do that.
It's really look. No. Look, watch the show because you will put all your shit in order. You will decide what you need to do because it's the end of days, man.
Literally.
It's the end of days. When this show is on TV, there can't be much
All
left.
that's left
I mean,
is
I'm
oblivion.
already an indie author. I'm close enough to the
Okay.
into all my optimism and pride and hope. So we're fine.
As
I don't
she
think I
had-
need to add MILF Manor to the pile.
Just like the tattoo above Candice's ass crack says, the worst has already happened. So, I get it.
Damn.
But
Tattoo
You
guys,
should
like,
get
sure
that
you
in
want
Latin
this?
tattooed above your ass, Candice. That'd be very funny.
And then post the pic.
Oh, that would be so Candice to get a tramp stamp and have it in Latin.
Which, as we discussed
read the
previously,
Latin.
that's hell speak. So,
I knew someone who, speaking of the Mines of Moria, I can't remember the real name. You know how he says "speak friend and enter" and it's in Dwarvish? I knew somebody who had that above her puss. She had tattooed
what's her
in
name?
Elvish. In Elvish, she had "speak friend and enter."
Oh,
That's
really?
badass.
That's cool. What's her first name? And is she on your Twitter by any chance?
She lives in Scotland, so no.
They still make planes, baby.
See, that's why we're like number 42 in Scotland, right?
We were doing good in Scotland. That's a good point. Yeah. No, what were we? Yeah, we were 44.
Because they love our
They
funny
do.
accents.
It's your accent specifically, Tim, that they love.
That's true, yeah. Bunch of Scottish people trying to sound like
Oh,
me.
that'd be so
Can you
funny.
imagine
Oh my
that?
god.
That'd be fucking fantastic, Tim.
Come on, Scottish listeners,
Your
send us
Tim
in a
impression.
10-second clip of you saying motherfucking cocksucker.
Do a Tim impersonation.
And the winner will get
Yeah, you
something
get
from A24.
You get a Blu-ray of an A24, handpicked by Candice.
Yeah.
This is the shittiest one.
Yeah.
Hereditary and half her
So
sign.
Sam and Becca run into another one of them, and I just have Becca sucks and damn near dies. Then Juno pops in and saves them.
Yeah.
Throws the pick, and then snaps its fucking neck.
Yeah.
She's into it now, yeah.
Yeah.
She's letting
Yeah,
loose.
she's like
She's found the real Juno. She doesn't need to fuck nobody's
Well,
husband
this
anymore
is
now,
one
right?
of the layers of the film is it's called The Descent, and they're literally descending into a cave, but all the characters are metaphorically descending into primalism. They become like very
No, that sounds like an A24
Yeah, it's a
movie.
little too heady for me.
And it gets pretty heavy-handed when she like baptizes herself in that piss hole. Yeah, like, and then she rises up and she turns into a badass. Then, like, it's
I thought that was from
Tim. That's the note I had you fuck her.
That's why I said it. I had to try. I always try to preempt your jokes.
The podcast is just going to be me and Tim seeing who can get to the bad movie reference or joke first. That's what it's going to devolve into, like these bat people. Snaps the neck. Then Sam goes full on, like, breaking down the biology of the crawlers. She's like, they're blind, so they generally would have to use echolocation. And I'm like, what the fuck, Sam? You've been studying these things? What's going on?
Well, they kind of click, right? And if they don't have eyes,
and they've already figured out that they hunt by sound.
She's a doctor, so I think she can tell that they're blind.
I mean, it's also completely dark in there, so
don't they have flares at this point? And plus, they still have their helmets on with the lights.
No. I'm saying if these things just live in pitch black, then
why do they even have eyes at this point? Yeah.
We'll learn later. That's just a liability because somebody could just poke into your brain.
It's the Bat Boy equivalent of the Bat Boy equivalent of that hole in the Death Star.
Yeah, why would you have
that? Just furthers on my theory that they were descended from those cavemen because they wouldn't be far enough along in evolution,
time
to lose their eyes like the fish do.
Candice, I like your science.
That's nice.
Evolutionary biologist Candice here, just to let you know how long it takes to get rid of eyes.
Genetics was my minor.
Then.
So
then Juno points out, she's like, listen, these things are hunting and eating people. Clearly, there's a bunch of bones down here. They have to have a path out so they can go fucking find people. So let's go find Sarah and get the fuck out of here. She's
At which point, to your point earlier, sorry to cut you off, but to your point earlier, at which point, everybody but Juno is like, how about fuck Sarah? Let's bounce.
Yeah.
This is her turn, right? Because she's kind of like Candice said. She's always been afraid. She's a coward. All this stuff. She's finally proven that she can do something. She's fucking these motherfuckers up, and now here's her redemption.
She thinks it's a redemption. Yeah, but like in reality, it's like you have fucked over Sarah every humanly way possible to fuck over another human being. Mm-hmm. It's so like killed her BFF and everything, left her for dead. But yeah, so she thinks like if I save her, she'll be grateful and that will surpass all the fucked up things I did to her. So it's like it's not to make Sarah feel better, it's to make her feel better, which just ties into the fact that she's extremely selfish.
I agree. My point was just to point out that her other friends also suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Beth was her ride or die friend. They made it clear that she was the one who was with her every step of the way when she was in mourning.
Again, I just like to point out that Candice has said at least on one occasion she would leave my ass behind.
It's because it's you, Tim. You're not my ride or die friend.
Yeah.
Tim, would you expect her not to leave you behind? Plus, if she tries to bring you with her, then you can't sue her if you make it out afterwards. Not in good conscience.
That's true. Candice, you better make sure I'm fucking dead.
Yeah, you got to double tap Tim.
I can't afford to not kill you.
Yep. You got to double tap Tim, or else he's going to sue you for all your drug money. So,
which is none, right?
Oh,
yeah, because I don't do that.
And right. And sweet Beth. Let's check in on her real quick.
What's she doing?
So, well, she's not dead, it turns out. She's just laying in the dead pile. And old Sarah picks up like half of a corpse off of her and wings it off. She's like, what the fuck happened? She's like, look, Juno did this to me, man. She left me here to die. Don't trust her. And Sarah's like, I don't know if you're telling the truth. Why? Whatever. So then Beth,
I think she was fucking your husband. That would be a good time to say that, right? Because this is the one who
I think she's trying to completely sever any friendship between the two because she knows Juno will abandon Sarah at some point if it serves her own ends.
Right.
And so
that's the way to really point. Guess what? The bitch fucking got me in the throat, and she was fucking your husband.
She really has to burn that bridge.
Yep. So she hands her the necklace, which she looks at. She wipes the blood off of the necklace, too. That was a good little...
She even says Juno's necklace, because she sees Juno with it all the time.
Oh, wouldn't it be fucked up if Sarah thought that she was the one who's cheating on the husband? Why you got this fucking necklace for my husband? And breaks her neck.
Yeah, that she just picks up a big rock and smashes her head in, but not out of courtesy. It's out of anger. So yeah, then Beth is like, look, you gotta fucking do me in here, because these things are gonna come back and eat my ass, and I would prefer to be dead when they do that. So let's go. Sarah's like, no, I can't do that. She's like, come on. She's like, okay, I can do that. You, if you insist, I'm reaches down, grabs a big old rock, and then just smushes her brains in. A lot of head trauma.
I didn't think she hit it enough to kill her, though.
Oh,
well,
yeah?
like, I mean, the movie
Look
language,
at Candice. Look at this.
she definitely killed her. But
she's already
but
up.
she doesn't.
She's already lost a lot of blood. It's not going to take
It's
more.
going to take more than
off.
one, though. Like, a human skull's really hard to crack.
At least you knock her the fuck out until she bleeds out, so she's not awake while it's happening.
Yeah, I
But
guess.
it's just like a.
Candice gone like, Candice could cut the fucking head off of her too, right? Just to make sure.
Well, the human head does live for a few seconds. No, I'm kidding. That's not true.
Yeah. So she's fucking toast. She tells her to close her eyes first. She's like, all right, close your eyes. Now imagine you're somewhere not getting your brains bashed in with a rock. What?
Talk
Bam.
about the bunnies.
Yeah. Talk about the bunnies. Oh, man. So she takes a moment and just kind of looks over the damage she's done, looks at all this shit, and a little one of those fucking things jumps on her back. Such a great shot, dude. So this little crawler's on her back, and she just fucking straight up kills it in front of its mother.
Yeah, I thought that was an odd touch to give to the creatures, as showing that they, like, mourn and have sympathy.
Well, yeah. I mean, they protect their own kind, right? They don't give a fuck about us.
I think it's to make that humanize them more.
Yeah, make them a little less bat person. So Mama comes by, finds its dead ass, gets pissed off. Sarah's like, I gotta fuck off out of here. Runs away, falls again, but this time she falls into a pool of gore, and, as Tim pointed out, she Charlie Sheen from Apocalypse Now is out of it.
Oh, and she blows bubbles with her mouth, so you know she got some of it in her mouth.
I'm just going to let that go.
Yep. Then we get to see a blood wrestling match with her and Mama. That was nice.
Yeah, this is her baptism here.
Yeah.
Losing all the trappings of her civilization and becoming a primal creature like the ones down here.
I mean,
and
literally.
Because that's how she'll have to survive.
Yeah, she's literally picking up pieces of dead things and using it to kill
she
them.
stops using modern weapons at this point.
Yep. No, the symbolism is not lost, and it's pretty much beats you over the head like her with the femur.
That's why I said it was
domes one in.
That's why I said it was not like A24, because they're more subtle.
Yeah,
I'll give them that.
Oh, also, one of them is like looking for her, and she's got the torch. And I just have a note: they can't feel the warmth.
That's they can't smell the fire or feel the warmth. They're not going to see it, but they can feel
They
it.
should
or
be
smell
able
it.
to feel, you would think.
Yeah.
But they're
they
just
also
like,
step on their faces too, and
yeah, that's true. But they're just
I
like,
love when he's looking around and he's got his hand on her head. That was great.
yeah.
And then that's when she looked up and she saw
And
his
she's
junk.
like, you know what? It is like a bat's junk.
I'm gonna tell my friend Clay that when I get back.
Yeah. I'm going to go up to Washington and tell my friend Clay all about this.
I would have just said, you could have just asked me.
Like, look, I already knew
Googled
that.
it.
I knew that.
Yeah, we have Google now, stupid. Duh. So then we cut to the other three, and man, it is not looking great for them. They're getting chased by this big group of crawlers. Sam gets separated from the other two and tries to monkey bar it again, but she gets stuck in the middle of monkey barring, and she's just kind of like hanging there like a lady piñata.
Yeah. That's a great scene. I love that scene.
Yeah, it is very
I
good.
actually did sort of steal that for one part of Crevasse, because I find that idea of hanging while something is like coming after you that's a really good climber would be really terrifying.
Yeah, you
Because
fucked.
humans are terrible at climbing.
Yeah, turns out we're not that great at it. And she's dangling from a rope. But I do like that she like whips out a fucking knife and tries to get it anyway. She's like, you know what? I'm going to take this fucker with me.
Yeah, she does go out hard.
Yeah, she does. She does good.
Yep. So she stabs it, drops it down the pit. But their pit leads to water. So that's a little less dangerous. But then, yeah, she's fucking toast and she falls backwards and you see her hanging there. Again, like a lady piñata.
Only it's not really candy that comes spurting out.
No. Just blood and entrails. Not a lot of candy in there.
Strawberry jam.
That creature candy.
As good as those shitty little strawberry candies you get with the strawberry themed wrapper. Those things are trash, man. I fucking hate those. So anyhow, Juno then just dives into the water underneath because she's like, fuck it, I'm going to go get away from the monsters that are chasing us. And clearly the rope swing didn't work too well for our buddy.
So the only place to go is down.
Yeah, the worst has already happened to her, right? I like that little slogan for you, kid. That's a good one. But she dives in.
It does sum everything up, really, right? Does.
So she dives into the water. The fucker's still alive in the water. So she's got to
because she stuck it in the side.
Yeah, so she has to finish it off. She pulls the knife out and finishes it off underwater. And I'm like, man, Juno is great. I'm team Juno.
She is a great warrior. I mean, you can give her that. She is a badass.
Yep.
So you know what? She deserves. She plays hard and she lays hard,
just like the MILFs on MILF Manor.
Candice.
No, Candice, you don't understand. 5 episodes in, nobody's fucked. Nobody's even gotten close to
there might
fucking.
have been some hand stuff going on.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, come on. Look, if you're in bed with a lady who's 67 years old and your takeaway is we did some hand stuff.
You missed the mark. You really missed the mark on that one.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of time. You know?
Yeah, exactly. That's what look, tick tock is,
Yeah, this is the other biological clock, the one where you expire. So, tick tock, get on this cock, Granny.
Andrew Dice Clay.
I was going to say tick tock, thick cock, but I guess Eddie's is better.
Thick cock, yeah. No, that also works. That'll be the B side of my joke. Not worse, just it's there.
Just different.
Different. A different take on it, a different spin. So I'm fine with that. So yeah, then Juno climbs her ass up out of the water, gets the fuck out of there, and climbs back up. Then on her way, trying to get out using the little lighter, Sarah finds her, pulls her into this little fucking alcove, and Sarah, I mean, you thought Juno was intimidating. Sarah looks fucking crazy.
She looks so pissed.
Yeah, this is. Yeah. See, I think this is where we get the Texas Chainsaw Massacre thing, right? Because she has the same look on her face.
Oh yeah,
but like an angrier look. Like she's terrified beyond all reason. She's extremely pissed off. She has snapped.
Yeah, she's fucking pissed. She's like, hey Juno, hey, glad we came out here spelunking. Thanks for that. Good choice. Pick. And then this new spot you found that was off the trail, perfect. By the way, our dead friends that are dead, Becca, how's she doing? Dead? It's like, yeah, Becca's dead. Hamburgers. Well, what about Beth? How's Beth doing?
Yeah.
Hamburgers?
She's like, yeah, Beth died too.
Died off screen.
Really? Yeah, she died off screen. She's like, really? Did you watch her die? She says, yeah, I did.
Yeah, a coward to the end.
So Sarah catalogs that in her head. Okay, you're a liar. Cool. Know where we stand.
Again, to stand up for Juno a little bit. Is this the time? Is this the time to get into this conversation?
Yeah, for fair. You know what? You're right. Let's get out of here and then we'll settle things. How about that?
Exactly. Then
it's
next
definitely
time
the time if you're looking at a plot pyramid,
Yeah, fair.
Okay, yes, that's true. It is a movie.
Right.
That's
if
right.
you have to write a movie,
that
Tim, that's true. That's a good point, Clay.
I think Sarah was aware of that. I think she knew where we were.
She's like, listen, this is the end of the third act coming up
we're in a
here.
movie,
We gotta put a bow on this.
We are one creature fight from the climax, so I'm dropping the big question.
They head down the trail. We see the arrow. We go toward the source of the arrow, not toward the pointy part, and end up in this room with 3 of the crawlers. It's like, okay, good.
Great fucking scene. It's like they're fucking posing.
I love how they're sitting there just waiting.
Yeah, they're completely still.
Yeah, they're like,
that was awesome.
And again, they're all covering up their dicks.
Yeah.
Very
Because they're
tasteful.
doing that crouching thing. Yeah.
well, you know what? To be fair, though, Tim, the fight they get into, I would have been covering up my dick too, man.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of sharp objects being tossed
Because
around.
there's sharp objects.
A lot of elbows
getting
getting thrown.
One of them gets kneed in the balls until it dies.
You think that's the first time that's ever happened to
So
them?
that
I
one
would
is
say
sure.
that's a
Balls?
historical moment, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I've never been kneed in the nuts until I died, Tim. It's a good point. I'll put that knot on my bucket list. How about that? So yeah, we get some nut kneeing, we get some head bashing, eye poking, the flare in the mouth. That was a good one.
That was a good one. The
Good
eye
scene,
gouging because it was
yeah.
lingering.
Yeah, because she just is hammering on that fucking eye.
I
Just
love a good
both
eye gouging
thumb-
scene.
Oh yeah.
It's the easiest
Yeah.
way to the brain.
Yeah,
right?
and then a
So-
couple of picks to the brain too, just to cap it off. We've seen that one before, but you know what? It's a good one. You might as well throw another one or two in. And the other note I have here is: do these guys have like really soft skulls or something? Because like the bashing, the one with the femur, the head just gets caved in. Like
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. They seem squishy. They seem a little squishy.
Maybe that's the reason why the gene pool is
They got
Okay.
soft heads.
Little squishy.
So then they get done with their fight, and Juno's like, all right, Sarah, that was a good fight. Turns around, sees Sarah standing up with the pickaxe over her. Like, oh, hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
The fight's done. Don't
The
do to
fight's-
me what I did to Beth.
Yeah, the fight's over. What are you doing here? And she just, with the pickaxe in her hand, opens her hand slightly, and the necklace tumbles out. And Juno's
Man.
like,
Oh fuck.
all right, you got me.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
You got me. And in the background,
Okay.
Yeah.
Coffee talk.
in the background, you
I
hear
love this. It's like the best come-uppins in film history.
it's very good because in the background you hear one of the monsters scream, right? And Juno looks over there because she's like, "Fuck the monster," and Sarah just pickaxe through the back of the knee out the front.
Fucks
Oh,
that leg up.
That's done. And then she's just like throws her hands up in the air. She's like, "Peace, bitch." Turns around and walks off.
Yep.
Like, fuck yeah.
The best.
And so then, walks the fuck off. And we see Juno get swarmed by like 100 fucking crawlers.
Juno does die off screen.
But I haven't gotten to it yet.
Yep.
She's in
Oh,
part
she
two.
lives.
now.
Nice.
Canonically, she lives.
She's at the end of this movie too, so we'll get back to her. And
I was
then
going to say, Juno's already killed like almost every creature that's died in this movie, except for like the one or two that Sarah killed.
yeah,
Or maybe
No,
three, counting
that's
one
fair.
baby.
It would make sense she could potentially live. That's true. You know what makes even more sense than that, though? Sarah falling down yet another hole and getting knocked out.
There's time to squeeze in one more cake.
It's a good hole, right?
And one more cake dream, exactly. But this one, the
I
daughter.
never noticed that before. Now I'm not going to be able to unsee it.
How many times have you seen this?
There's like 4 fucking
It was
cake
driving
scenes.
me crazy. That's one thing that annoys me in any movie though, is like when people get knocked out, it's like that's not how getting knocked out works.
No.
First of all. And second of all, too many cake dreams.
Mhm.
Like, do you have the same dream every time you get
What's
knocked
funny
out?
is that this is the second to last cake dream, too.
It's
No.
not even the last one.
The movie literally ends on a cake dream. But we get a twist with it, so we'll stay tuned. But so she gets
Cake
knocked
twist.
out, wakes up, sees daylight, right? climbs over a mountain of bones, and then crawls out of the dirt and emerges.
It's a great shot of her climbing
It's
up.
very,
home,
very
right?
good, man.
It looks like almost like a
Comic book, or again, it's very like reminiscent of those old 70s kind of horrors, the I Spit on Your Grave or your
it's real
Texas Chainsaw. Yeah, grimy, dirty, just like PTSD survivor in the woods, She gets out, gallivants around for a bit, finds the truck, and then Duke boys it through the fucking woods. Like, Jesus Christ, her driving away in this fucking thing. Like,
how good would this movie be?
That's
That she
what
fucking
that's
crashed?
my note I
I thought it
have
was going to
here.
happen.
Is I'm like, you just were in an accident. Like, let's not beg fate here. But she's cool. She pulls over to the side of the road. She realizes she's been a little reckless. Takes a little breather, right? When she's a safe distance away, that is. And the other note I have here is, why are her windshield wipers on? It's not raining.
I think she was just panicking and hitting buttons.
Damn near
Was
gets
it raining
rear-ended.
when they showed up? No, it wasn't.
No. She damn near gets rear-ended by a log truck. Finally pukes, Candice. So if you've been waiting for that, like I have, I couldn't finish, It's like, oh, come on, throw up. That's what she does.
Oh, God.
Leans out the truck window, throws up. It's not a lot of puke, though, and it's pretty watery. So
Probably
I guess she didn't have
hasn't eaten.
breakfast. Yeah.
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 More like bile.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, look what's been in her mouth.
Oh,
Okay.
Fair. Yeah, she was drinking the weird piss sludge. So, she has a nice puke, then turns, oh shit, Juno's in the truck next to her. And she wakes up. No, it was just a dream. She's still in the cave, still gonna die.
This is the ending that was shown in UK theaters. What
Yeah.
I saw was the American ending.
Oh, because I saw the unrated end.
In
All
the
right,
American ending, yeah, she has that nightmare with Juno and she wakes up, but she's still in the car. Like, she lives. And she makes it out, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's the ending I saw too. So there's an ending where she wakes up and she's still in the cave.
And she's still in the cave, yep.
So
Yeah, that's the one that I saw. Yeah, she's still in that like
if
a
you
little
watch
like,
it on the
cubby
Blood
hole.
Bank, I've got the UK version of it. So she wakes up in the cave and she's in that little cubby where they were fighting. And she finally, her weird hallucination intersects with reality because there's another cake. And she looks up from the cake and sees her daughter.
There's the daughter.
But Candice, wouldn't you know it, but the cake was a lie. You see, it was
a lie.
just her torch. And she was staring out at nothing. We zoom out and credits. So, if it had been the UK ending, there would have been no part 2, or at least she wouldn't have been in it.
No, because again, from the first couple minutes that I watched, it shows her coming out of the tunnel, getting out, and then she runs across. Because it's very Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Because she literally almost gets run over by a fucking truck that's driving down the road. And then she gets into that. Then she's in the hospital, and that's when her story is crazy. She's got blood all over her. There's too much blood; it can't be just hers. There's other people's blood.
Okay,
let's see what's going on.
That tracks then.
So they a little bit retconned it. They don't explain how she got out, or I didn't watch the rest of the movie, so maybe they did.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I didn't see part 2 yet, and I don't know that I will, but we'll.
It's got like a 53. And I think that this one has at least an 84, 85.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, this was definitely a good.
But how do you bring both of these people back? Look, I love Juno.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. She's easy on the eyes. My wife doesn't like it, but I've watched this movie 3 times. She's hot. How do you get her fucking alive out of that fucking cave? Unless she's got a 3-second fucking cameo in it where they go in and they find her fucking almost ready to die.
She's been surviving the whole time. She's been hunting when she can underground.
She's queen of the fucking I was gonna say egg people for some reason. I don't
The bat
know why.
people.
I don't know.
Yeah, she survives down there for however amount of time.
She's bat bitch.
Oh, you could have been Batwoman.
Oh, bat bitch over there. Watch your husband with the bat bitch.
Yeah, that is fair. She is a bit trifling for sure. So, yeah, that's the movie then, folks. Clay, again, thank you so much for joining us. If people wanted to, say, get more Clay in their lives, where would you direct them on the information superhighway to have that available to them?
Yeah, so my website is just clayvermolemfiction.com, and sign up for the newsletter. That's the best way to get all the updates and, be in the closest, most regular contact with all my upcoming releases and podcast episodes and short story publishings and all those things.
It's a good thing that name wasn't already taken for that
Yeah,
website.
I don't know a lot of Clay Vermolems, so that worked out.
Worked out to your advantage. Well, man, thank you so much for being on the show. We hope to have you back again, even if you don't, have anything to promote coming up, just for fun, But, of course, you're welcome back if you have something to promote. So, Tim, what about you, buddy? Anything you want people to pay attention to on the internet?
I think, Candice, do we still have some
the
of those
last
mini
one
bins
came
coming
out on my birthday.
Oh, okay, look at that. So, yeah, just pay attention to our show. And like always, if you can't join the Patreon for $2 a month, come on, what the fuck you
Get a better job.
Right? You probably listen to some Apple podcast, right? So you can give Apple some money. You can funnel some of that money to us. But if you can't, at least give us 5 stars. Don't be a fucking prick and give us 4 stars.
Or give us 1, 5 or 1. I don't want anything in between.
One way or the other. Because you know what? Some of those 1-star reviews, sometimes I'm looking at a podcast, I see the 1-star reviews, like, too woke. And I'm like,
Right.
I want to listen to this podcast because this asshole says it's too woke.
You get when the 1-star review tells you more about the reviewer. That's a good point, Tim. Fair. Okay. Yeah. What about you, Candice?
Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HorrorHoochie69.
Mm-hmm. You can slide
those pictures, and maybe she'll drop into your DMs.
All you got to do is write a really, really good horror novel. So it's
small price. As we discussed earlier, writing is cake.
Oh yeah,
so.
yeah. Writing's real fucking easy. Sure, that's why nobody
don't
can
be
seem
bitch
to do
made
it.
like them caves, and you can just get it done.
You goddamn right. So, I think that, pay attention to us, bloodybits.com, patreon.com/bloodybits to get access to the bonus episodes, get access to the blood bank with over 5,500 movies for you to stream at any time, day or night, just there.
And now that we get a computer, and Candice has a computer that we can
more
record
bonus
on,
episodes.
more bonus
We've
episodes.
got High-Minded coming out later this week. And I think that's about it. So again, Clay, thank you so much for joining us. And for Tim and Candice, this is how we end it. Goodbye.